Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, live inside the Daytona Ice Arena as we are here for day 2 of this round-robin tournament. This second game of the day features the Clemson Tigers and the host Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Eagles. I'm Nick Gimbel bringing you the play-by-play action, and alongside me, Andrew Caputo. Andrew, thanks for being up here again.
It's a pleasure.
Andrew, after last weekend we had that win that's supposed to define how a program's going to play the rest of the season against Florida Gulf Coast. They had that big win last weekend, and what has to change after a disappointing overtime loss against Florida State last night?
I think it's the idea that you have to treat every team the same way we treated Florida Gulf Coast. We came in a little too light against Florida State, and they took advantage of that. It was a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy play on our end, and this is a game we're going to walk away from and be upset that we didn't take. So we're hoping to remedy that today and tomorrow and come out positive on the weekend, and we'll see if we can start that on this face-off.
Clemson in their road purple uniforms with the orange trim on the waist and the pants will be moving right to left across the computer screen. They are the first to dump the puck in to the Embry-Riddle zone. Embry-Riddle in their home white uniforms again with the gold and blue trim along the elbows, waist, and socks. Will be moving in the opposite direction, left to right, but it's Clemson who has the first possession of the game, and they again have it in the neutral zone. They send it right back into Eagle territory on the far side of the boards. Eagles get it out, but sent right back in again by the Tigers. Ebner will come near side for Barger. Barger with a pass up the near side for Shepard, deflected into the middle. Eagles have a partial chance, but Clemson defense is quick to get it back out into neutral ice. Ebner will settle it down in his own zone, sends it off the near side boards, deflects over a couple of sticks, and the Tigers have to regroup in their own high slot. Saucer pass to the far side, intercepted by a nice read by Ebner, but the Clemson Tigers are right there to send it in. No icing is the call from the linesman, and this one's going to be deflected just short of the red line, but it comes in on goal on the starting goaltender, Nick Badger, for Clemson. He will steer it to the near side, or the far side rather. Saucer pass comes right into the middle of the ice for Vanderleest. Cutting right down the far side board, save made by Nico Prullier, and the rebound goes back behind the net. Eagles with a chance to clear on the near side corner. Can't quite clear it around a couple of Clemson forecheckers. They hold it in the near side corner. Kyle Usiak now will throw it off the near boards, kept in by Clemson. They will send it to the far side, and Barton is there to settle it for the Eagles, but he has to deal with a pair of purple jerseys on a strong forecheck, and a pass comes right through the slot, deflects up to the blue line. Eagles again will try to clear it out. They finally will, and here's a streaking Usiak. He's going to win the race to the puck, and he's got a man in the middle. Can't find him, and a stick save is made by Badger on a sharp angle shot. Long shot gets deflected, and a beautiful blocker save had to be made by Badger as that one came bouncing in off the stick of Usiak.
What a beautiful deflection there by Kyle Usiak. He had a great game last night, and he's looking to continue to build on that so far in his first shift.
Bouncing puck, and Usiak had a broken stick, so he's unable to settle that loose puck down in the center of the ice. And this one's going to be sent off the elbow of a Tiger, and the Clemson Tigers will settle it down back behind their own net.
Might have been out of camera screen, but Kyle Usiak broke his stick on that play, a little bit of a yard stale in the neutral zone.
Over on the far side, tries to throw it into the middle. And Solomon with his first shift sends it back to the blue line. Shot gets deflected right into the midsection of Badger, and he hangs on to the puck. 17-16 left in a scoreless first period, and it's been a little bit back and forth, but mostly under Clemson Tiger possession thus far. Shots 2-1 in favor of Embry-Riddle, so Prullier only seen one shot so far in this period, but possession has mainly been had by Clemson. Barger has to retreat out of the zone as it was a soft pass that Clemson was able to intercept. Good toe drag, but Ebner with a better play, and that's going to be called an interference penalty against Ebner.
I have to disagree with that. I think that was a great job of taking the man out of the play. I think that was a bit of a soft call.
Wyatt Ebner making a fantastic defensive play, in my opinion, trying to keep his man from getting around him, and unfortunately that's going to draw a holding penalty against Ebner.
Ebner's just as confused as I am.
And I guess that has to do with the viewpoint that the official had. He was back behind the play, so the view that the official had, I can see why there was a holding call on it, but from our vantage point, it's just a great physical play. Up at the blue line, Clemson has it, looking for a shot, can't find one. They move it to the far side. Pad save made by Prullier. Rebound goes to the far side of the net. Still loose in the crease, and Prullier is right there to pounce on the rebound. 16:47 left in the first period, and we'll have a face-off on the far side circle again.
This Eagles penalty kill struggled a bit yesterday, so they're hoping to come back out and make a statement with a strong one out here in the front.
Adam Montag is going to try to win this back for Clemson, away from David Lytle. Montag will win it for the Tigers, and they will set up their offensive zone power play. Up at the blue line, Judah will come near side for Baltus. He fires a shot past the near side post. Falling down on the play, Clemson is, and that will allow the Eagles to send it all the way down the ice, right on goal, where Nick Badger will have to settle it down for Baltus behind the net. 1:19 to go in the Eagles' penalty kill. Tigers gaining speed through the neutral zone. That's Jake Vanderleest, who will give way at the blue line to Montag, and he loses possession as he tries to cross into Eagle territory. Tigers have to settle it down at their own blue line. Jimmy Peachnick streaking down the left wing wall, comes in over the blue line, dealing with the stick of Solomon, has to retreat behind the Eagles net, tries to throw it out in front, and this one thrown up high in the air, glove down by Peachnick, backhand shot is stopped by Prullier, rimmed hard around the glass, but a bouncer is kept at the blue line by the Tigers. They maintain power play possession. Pass goes down into the near side corner. They got a man at the blue line. They find him in Halsey. Halsey walks in, goes to the far side for Peachnick. He fires a shot blocked away by Lytle. Halsey again at the blue line will send it into the near corner. Looking for a sharp angle shot. They find it, blockered away routinely by Prullier. Trying to gather that rebound in. It's still loose. Referee still has a visual on it, and play's going to continue on the near blue line for Halsey. Sends it down low, has a man in front with a screen. Shot goes through, and a 5-hole goal for the Clemson Tigers. That's number 17, Isaiah Jackson, the recipient of a beautiful screen in front. Prullier had no chance in front. And now Prullier with a little bit of an equipment malfunction. Maybe he wasn't able to slide across with his right skate, as a loose strap may have been impeding his progress, but a couple of players were tied up right in front of him. He had no sight line on that sharp angle shot.
Looks like he just ripped off that strap that goes around the bottom strap that goes around the skate of the pad, so hopefully that won't affect him too much in the future. But I have to agree, it looked like one of the Riddle defensemen, I believe it was Barton, was tying up Clemson forward in front of the net, and it looks like Prullier had no angle on that shot. There's no way he could get out and challenge or establish, and probably didn't even see it.
And both of these teams coming off disappointing overtime losses last night. University of Florida topped the Gators in a shootout last night, and Embry-Riddle falling to FSU early in their overtime period. So both of these teams looking to make a statement against one another, trying to get their first win of the tournament. Clemson streaking right down the middle of the ice, gains Eagle territory, and a shot came right in, and a stick save made by Prullier. Clemson again with in-zone pressure. They will try to cycle it up the near side boards. Eagles with good defensive zone coverage, not allowing the Tigers to gain the middle of the zone, forcing them to the outside on the far side corner. And it's going to be Ryan Knapp with a chance to clear. He throws it high off the glass. A bouncer is going to roll towards the goal line, but it's not going to get there in time before the officials wave off the icing. Baltus will send an errant pass up at the blue line, intercepted by Ebner. He keeps it in at the blue line, but his shot went wide of the far post. Marks with a nice toe drag, gets around his man, throws it in front for Shepard, and it's just through his stick. Clemson comes right back the other way, met at the red line by Barger, and his long shot is routinely stick to the far side corner by Badger. Rio will send it up to the blue line, kept in by the Eagles. Fowler dangerously at the blue line, sends a shot in, finally to the near corner. Bouncing puck at the blue line cannot be kept in by Ebner, and he has to retreat into the neutral zone. Shepard, with good support for his defenseman, is able to gather that pass and send it back into the neutral zone. Ryan Marks trying to steal it away, can't do so. Clemson throws it back into the Eagles' zone behind the goal of Prullier. On the near side corner again, Tigers have it at the blue line. Long shot comes in, pad save made by Prullier, and Ebner is right there to settle the rebound into the near corner, but it remains under Tiger possession. Isaiah Jackson takes a hit from Ebner on the far side. Tigers looking to get the puck into the middle of the ice, and Ebner for the Eagles keeps it on the boards. Shepard hanging out in the high slot is able to get it out to Fowler, and the Eagles have a skating lane. Fowler trying to make one too many moves at the blue line, and he has to fire it off the shin pad of the linesman into the Clemson zone, but the Tigers will send it right back into the Eagles' defensive end and make a set of line changes. Barton behind his own net will one-hand it along to Barger. He takes a check behind the net, and Marks has to rim it to the near side corner. And Shepard will gather that breakout pass, but not before he's met by a pair of forechecking purple jerseys.
This first line's been out here for a long time. They're probably just looking to dump the puck in and get a change, but they can't do it here.
Joe Halsey will rim this in for Clemson. Delayed offsides is on for the Tigers, and it's going to have to be whistled down as the forecheck was coming on too strong for a delayed offside call. Well, go ahead, Andrew.
Eagles look like they're being too cute at the blue line. They're going to have to work on dumping the puck in. But otherwise, good job defensively, working hard, finishing their hits, taking away the lanes, doing a good job in the defensive end. Just got to start to push that forward.
12:39 left in the first period. Tigers lead 1-0 over the Eagles. Shots tied at 5 apiece. Usiek will backhand a soft one into the near side corner. That will allow Peachnik to gather it and send it up the far side boards. Tries to be tipped in front by Lamotte. Eagles intercept that play, and Clemson trying to get it out, can't do so. Curson evades the check, throws it up to the blue line for Usiak. Can't find a shot, so he has to pass it into the middle. Still loose in the crease, and it's finally poked to the far side corner, and Clemson is going to be called on the delayed penalty here. It's going to be a slashing penalty. Looks like it might come against number 9, Joe Halsey.
It looks like Kierson's in some pain from that slash.
So the Eagles will have their first chance at a power play. Clemson scored on their only chance thus far, and this will be the Embry-Riddle Eagles' best chance of this first period to get their first goal of the game. 12:07 left in the first period. Marks is going to try to win this face-off back for the Eagles. 50-50 battle, and it does pop up to the blue line for Ebner. Ebner will send it down to the far half wall for Fowler. Down to the corner for Marks. That's Shepard down in the corner, gets it to Fowler. Fowler at the far blue line looking for a shot, comes up to the blue line for Ebner. He fires it, pad save, rebound on the far side corner, and Shepard will send it back up to the blue line for Fowler. His shot comes into the midsection, rebound on the far side, stick to the corner by Badger, and Clemson will get it up to the blue line and into the neutral zone through Ebner, and Clemson steals it away, coming in short-handed, fires a shot, glove save is made by Prulier, and a dangerous short-handed chance from Clemson, and the Eagles netminder equal to the task. Marks will settle it down in the center ice circle, Fowler with an outstretched leg to remain onside. Marks will cycle behind the Clemson net, sends it up to the blue line for Barger. He takes a shot, deflected, and he scores! Alex Fowler, the recipient of a beautiful touch pass from Brendan Barger, and the Eagles have the equalizer. Just 55 seconds into their first power play of the game, and we're tied at 1, 11-12 left in the first.
Credit Prulier for making a great save on that shorthanded attempt to allow this to happen. Definitely a lot of credit goes to that.
Big save at one end of the ice leads to a big goal on the other for the Eagles, and we are all tied up on the scoreboard. Clemson will have possession off the ensuing faceoff, and they will one-hand it into the Eagles slot. Ryan Knapp tries to get it out of the zone. He will corral it in his own corner, sends it to the far side for Sakala. Sakala takes a check, moving the puck along, and now we have, take a guess, Andrew, at what we have a stoppage of play for here at the Daytona Ice Arena.
Well, if I was to know this rink, I would say that there was an issue with one of the panes of glass.
Pane of glass is indeed out on the near side half wall in the Eagles' defensive zone for the second night in a row, and what I would say the 100th game in a row that we've seen between juniors and college action at this rink.
It's not a game at Daytona Ice Arena unless a pane comes out.
And I didn't see one in the last third period of the game before us. Not sure if they had a glass issue, but the short panes of glass allow for an easy fix, and we're all set to go for a face-off in front of the Eagles bench in the neutral zone.
It's become quite routine as there are ladders and people on standby at every game waiting for this to happen, to jump right into action.
And even the officials know how to fix the pane of glass at this point.
Give me another game or two, I think I'll know how to fix it.
Tigers will dump it into the Eagles zone. And Lytle has to deal with a forecheck, and he will cough the puck up back behind the net. But Connor Laps is there to gather it for the Eagles, but he turns it over at the blue line. Lytle will settle it down for the Eagles, and they're playing tennis again with it in the neutral zone. Tigers trying to send it into the Eagles zone. Finally, on the third attempt, they will, but only to have the Eagles bring it right back out into neutral ice. Clemson will make a wholesale line change after they gain the red line and dump it into the Eagles zone. One-touch pass into the middle for that's Lytle. And at the blue line, Clemson will not be able to keep the Eagles into the neutral zone, but their in-zone regroup will bring them right back out into neutral ice. One-touch pass into the middle for Butterfield, trying to get around a trio of white jerseys, does so. Butterfield walks into the middle, fires a shot just past the near side post. Ryan Knapp has possession on the far side. He will send it high off the glass and out into the neutral zone after a few deflections. And Lytle working 1-on-3 on Clemson. He skates down the far side, wall stops up, cuts into the middle, fails on a backhand shot. And Webster for Clemson will rim it to the near side corner. Barton can't keep it in on a dangerous pinch in. And Butterfield will just softly airmail it to the far corner, close enough for Prullier to leave it for his defenseman. Eagles skating up the near side boards. They gain the red line and smartly dump it in. That was number 19, Richard Means. Puck careens to the far side, half wall. Good forecheck for the Eagles, but they can't keep it in the zone. Clemson comes right back the other way, and Barton has to deflect it up into his own bench for a whistle with 9:08 left in the first. Shot still tied 6-6, as is the score, tied at 1. Embry-Riddle will have possession off the faceoff in front of their own bench. But, as we were saying, the short panes of glass makes an easy fix for when they come out. The short pane of glass will halt play as Barton sent it just over the short glass.
Makes it kind of difficult to do those chips out. These defensemen have to really time it. And usually they're pretty good, but every once in a while they just air them out a little too high.
96% of coaches, I would say, would tell me that high off the glass is a smart play to get it out of the zone, but when there is no high off the glass, there's really nothing these defensemen can do.
Got to work more and more on your low off the glass game.
Eagles trying to clear it out of their own zone. It's number 11, Chris Romero, to send it to the far side. Almost a dangerous pass into the middle, but they send it smartly to the far side of the ice. Romero taking a couple of bodies, moving it into the Clemson zone. Tigers have it at the blue line, and they will gain Embry-Riddle territory. Rio with a shot that gets deflected into the near corner. Battled for back behind the net. And Romero will backhand it up the far side boards. Clemson will not keep it in. It's a delayed offsides. And they will escape the zone to touch up. That will allow the Eagles to make a three-man line change on the forward side. Looking for a backhand pass up for Kersen, but it was too far in front of him, and that will allow the Tigers to dump it in and make their line changes. Back behind the net, Ebner will backhand a saucer off the boards, and it comes out into the neutral zone, only for Clemson to send it right back where it came from. Ebner has it in his far side corner, stops up away from pressure and sends it up those far side boards again, hits a stanchion, and it will get deflected down by the backside of the official, and Barger has to settle it down in his own corner, and now Clemson will be penalized on a slash. I believe that's going to go against number 11, Adam Montag, and as we were saying about that interference, or that a holding penalty rather, to Wyatt Ebner, another soft slashing call, I would say. The officials really cracking down on everything they're seeing so far in the early going.
Don't get me wrong, I'll take a power play for Embry-Riddle any day of the week, but I definitely did not see the slash, so maybe it was subtle, but these refs are willing to call pretty much everything, it seems like, so far, so both teams are going to have to adjust, or it's going to be a long game on the score sheet.
Embry-Riddle 1 for 1 on their power play chances thus far, looking to keep it at 100%, but a face-off loss in the zone will not allow that, but a good keep-in by Barger tries to start a centering play, but it's intercepted by Clemson and thrown out into the neutral zone.
Almost another shorthanded attempt there for Clemson. Riddle has to be really careful that they're looking to spring that chance. Vanderleest
loses possession, and Ryan Marks will settle it for Clemson at the blue line. Ebner almost skated out of the zone with it, keeps it onside. Marks will skate into the top of the circle, fires a shot, and it goes right into the midsection of Badger. and he will hang on for a whistle. And that's a shot from Ryan Marks that he knows he's not going to score on. He just lost a little bit of the height on it. He wanted to keep it low on the ice for a rebound off the pads, but he just got it a little bit too high. Marks will win the faceoff back, and help from Shepard keeps it under Riddle possession. Joe Halsey for Clemson has it stolen away by Marks. Cycle comes down low for Fowler in the far corner. Fowler gets a toe drag to work against Halsey, and he's got a pass at the blue line for Ebner. His shot, blocker save is made by Badger, and he is able to hold it against the blocker with his glove for another whistle. 1:10 left in the Embry-Riddle power play.
Riddle doing a good job of getting traffic in front. Just have to lower those shots a bit and crash really hard, but they're doing a good job of trying to take away Badger's sight.
And it's really a routine save for the opposing goaltender when it's a very high shot like that, especially when there's no one screening in front. Finally, Embry-Riddle with some manpower in front, and they get a deflected shot to the near corner. Marks will settle it down for Shepard. Gets it up to Barger at the blue line. His shot gets through, and a glove save is made by Badger again. Ryan Marks was there looking for a deflection, but again, as I was saying, no screen in front. Marks was standing off to the side rather than in front of Badger, and that allowed Badger an easy sight line for a glove save.
This offensive first power play unit's going to stay out there with just a change on D.
At the blue line, Knapp sends a shot in, stick to the far corner. And Fowler will lose possession. This will allow Clemson to rim it all the way down the ice. Perlier's going to have to come out of his net to send it up the far side boards for Barton. Barton has it in his own zone, streaking down the near side boards, gets a pass into the middle for Shepard. Shepard takes a shot, deflected by the shin pad of the Clemson defender. Kareem's to the far corner, and it goes in! A far side shot from Ryan Marks gets deflected off a shin pad in front. Went off the Clemson defender of number 8, Matt Mancini, and another power play goal for the Eagles.
Looks like David Lytle might have actually gotten that one. They might have made a change out there I didn't notice.
Looks like a 22 on the back of that jersey. You're right, instead of the 42, it is David Lytle picking up the Eagles' second goal of the game. And it's the second straight power play goal for the Eagles.
A lot of credit goes to David Lytle. He played a great game last night. Really, I think, impressed Coach Joyce on his play on both ends of the ice, and got a shot on the power play, and he did not disappoint.
We are back to 5-on-5 play. Face-off back at center ice. 2-1 lead for Embry-Riddle. Shots 11-6 in favor of the Eagles. Pass goes to the far side, and Clemson has a breakout down the far side boards for Jackson. Jackson's met by the shoulder of Sakala, and he finishes his man on the far side boards. And the Eagles with a chance to clear on the near side half wall. Can't get it through the stick of Judah. Dangerous cross-ice pass will get onto the stick of Sakala, off the skate of Solomon, and it's left in the neutral zone for Clemson to maintain possession. They bring it right back into the Eagles zone on the stick of Vanderleest. Vanderleest with a pass into the middle. And the Eagles will get it out into the neutral zone off the skate of Solomon. And again, the Tigers will send it right back into the Eagles zone. Rimmed around to the far side blue line. Eagles get it out, and a hand pass is going to be missed there. The Eagles come right back in. This one's going to be stick to the near side half wall by Badger. Long shot comes in, loose in the crease, and the Tigers steer it to safety of the far side corner.
Riddle got a break on that missed hand pass for sure. It led to a great scoring chance.
And now we have too many men on the ice for the Tigers. They have 6 players out right now in a poor line change. No official has seen it yet, and the Tigers are going to get away with their own penalty.
That was just unbelievable. That was a solid 15 seconds that they were out there.
Play's going to continue, and as we were saying, the officials having a very tight game, and that's 10 seconds right there where the officials just may well have not been on the ice. Tigers in their own zone, send it up the far side boards, intercepted by Ebner, and he throws it off a body on his own bench, and that will bring a face-off with 4:35 left in the first period.
What a series of events that was, oh my God.
Luckily for the officials, no goal came from either missed call. It almost came down for a breakaway for Embry-Riddle on that missed hand pass.
I'm almost shocked that the Embry-Riddle bench wasn't as up in arms as we were.
I think we have the best vantage point for something like that, but you're right. It's very bright purple jerseys. It's hard to miss 5, let alone 1 more of them out there. Sharp angle shot gets sticked back behind the net by Badger. Riddle trying to gain possession in the offensive zone. Loose in the slot, looking for a loose puck, turns and fires, and it gets deflected up to the blue line. A one-timer from Ebner hits the corner of the boards and gets sent almost up into the ceiling. Play continues as the puck stays in play. And back down into the corner. Miller has it, pass into the middle. Usiak is there, couldn't get a handle on it. Chris Rovero for Clemson streaking down the near side boards, cannot get around Barger, and Barger will turn defense into offense down the near side boards, fires a slap shot, hits a stanchion back behind the net after he missed the net, comes right out in front, and Clemson will skate it into the safety of neutral ice. Under the possession of the Tigers, Butterfield trying to come in over the Eagles' blue line, and he will skate it up as far as the blue line, kept in, and it's pinballing around in the high zone of the Eagles' defense. And Curson is finally able to gain it at the red line and send it into the Tigers' end. 3:15 left in the first period, and I have not seen one connected pass so far in this period. Tigers with some good forecheck pressure, but Barton is able to send it up to the far side, and the Eagles get it out into the neutral zone. Send off the body of a Tiger forward, and Clemson at the red line will send it in to the Eagles zone back behind Prullier.
Clemson's definitely not afraid to dump the puck in again and again and go and get it. It's definitely the main part of the strategy for sure.
Up the near side boards, Means throws it into the middle looking for a streaking Malcheski, but it was too far in front of him. Rolling backhander comes softly into the glove hand of Badger, and with 2:39 left in the first, we'll have a face-off on the far side circle in the Clemson defensive end.
I guess the advantage of having this rink as home ice is knowing that throwing the puck anywhere off the boards leads to some pretty unpredictable bounces, so some good job by the D throwing the puck, hitting the stanchions, getting some lucky bounces, trying to create some more chances.
And it's the University of Florida having nightmares after 3 weekends ago after a long bouncer came in from center ice and went right through the wickets of the Gator goaltender. And so you're right, shooting the puck from anywhere is never a bad idea in this building. Clemson has possession in their offensive zone. They move it up to the blue line. Judah with a shot into the glove hand of Prullier, and he will hang on for a whistle. And Barton was knocked down late after the whistle by Isaiah Jackson. Looks like no call's going to come from that. With 2:17 left in the first, shots 14-6 in favor of Embry-Riddle. Tigers will have an offensive zone face-off on the far side circle. Glove hand side of Nico Prullier. And the Clemson centerman, number 13, Jake Rio, will be tossed out. And because of that, Embry-Riddle will win the face-off, rims it to the near side, kept in, however, by Judah. Tigers walk into the high slot, and a shot was right in on goal. Stick save made by Prullier, comes to the near blue line. Judah at the blue line for Clemson sends it into the near corner for Jackson. Jackson sends it up to the half wall for a shot that gets blocked in front by Connor Laps. Another shot from the far half wall, gloved down by Embry-Riddle, and they have a chance to clear it out. Ryan Marks will backhand it up to the neutral zone. Fowler trying to skate it through. Shepard has it, leaves it for Fowler into the high slot, takes a shot right into the logo of Nick Badger, and he will hang on for a whistle at 1:36 left in the first. That'll bring the shot total to 15 for Embry-Riddle, so a slow start to this game, and they've definitely picked it up thanks to some special teams play.
Yeah, I think the power plays definitely did a good job of jump-starting this offense, and they're buzzing now. They just have to make sure that they don't get too offensively minded and lose track of playing some solid D.
And the Eagles trying to get a shot right off the face-off, but it goes right off the leg of a Clemson forward, and they will skate the puck out into the neutral zone. At the red line, a good couple of moves from Joe Halsey, comes in, fires a shot over the crossbar of Prullier. Clemson battling for possession. They try to move it into the middle of the slot, but they're forced to dump it into the near corner, where Barger will send his man into the boards, but he's working 1-on-3 against some purple jerseys, and that will allow Clemson to regain possession in the offensive zone. On the near corner, Rovero sends it to the far side behind the net. He gets support from Cunningham. Cunningham will send it back for Rovero, but the Eagles, thanks to their captain, Barger, will maintain possession and send it out to the neutral zone. Tries to be brought back in by Clemson with 46 seconds to go. Still a loose puck in the referee crease on the far side of the red line under a couple of players. Still battling for it, and Clemson finally will send it into the Eagles zone. They make a pair of line changes. Barger will center the rolling puck down, and a slap pass comes off the stick of Lytle, but it goes right through him and deflected in to the neutral zone by Clemson. And now Solomon and Halsey battling with each other. The official's going to let that go. 16 seconds to go, and now Solomon gives a cross check to Halsey. They will separate due to the play.
Solomon's got to be careful not to take a bad penalty on a play like that, especially with how refs have been calling everything.
Intercepted by Clemson at the blue line. They have time for a shot, and a diving block made by Barger sends it up for Halsey. He fires a shot in and out of the glove of Perlier, and clock on the side of Embry-Riddle at the end of this first period, as that one may well have rolled in behind Perlier, but the clock was having none of the Clemson forward pressure, and that will be the end of the first period with a score of 2-1 with the Eagles leading over the Tigers. Shots 15-12 also in favor of Embry-Riddle.
Clemson definitely with a strong push at the end there.
And as you were saying, Solomon has to be careful not to take that penalty, and that was a story of last night. Some undisciplined play allowed the University of Florida, or excuse me, FSU, to stay in this game and get quite a few power play goals.
It's definitely a team that thrived on their power play, made us pay on their power play, and it was, if we had avoided some of those penalties, it might have been a different game.
Embry-Riddle leads by a score of 2-1 over the Clemson Tigers. We will be back for the start of the second period shortly here from the Daytona Ice Arena here on YouTube.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, live inside the Daytona Ice Arena as we get set for the start of the second period between the visiting Clemson Tigers and the host of this tournament, the Embry-Riddle Eagles. Eagles will come into the second period leading by a score of 2-1 after the Tigers picked up their first goal of the game. On the power play, the Eagles bounced right back for 2 power play goals of their own. And Andrew, special teams right now, the story of the game. What does Embry-Riddle have to do to make sure their special teams comes out on top?
Well, I think the obvious answer would be to make sure that they draw lots of penalties and they don't take any. But more realistically, the penalty kill is going to have to be stronger. I mean, currently it's sitting at 0-1, and they're going to have to be able to kill penalties, and going to have to be able to continue to capitalize whenever Clemson makes some foolish penalties.
Clemson will have possession right off the faceoff. They will be continuing to wear their road purple uniforms, orange and white trim on the pants, elbows, and socks. And they will be moving left to right across your computer screen. Embry-Riddle in the home white uniforms with the gold and blue trim taking the icing call, moving right to left across your computer screen. Takes 17 seconds off the clock and a face-off on a fresh sheet of ice in the Clemson offensive end. No carryover penalties nor power plays. We will be 5-on-5 to start the period.
One of the big things that Coach talked about in the locker room and that the guys on the team definitely agreed with is that we have to continue to get traffic in front of this Clemson goaltender, and that's going to be really the key to getting these goals.
Ryan Marks taken down on the play. No call is going to come from that. The Eagles faithful and players on the ice all up in arms wanting some sort of call as this one dangerously comes up in towards the stands. Everyone seems to be okay celebrating for a caught puck, and some fan is going to go home with a souvenir.
Just wanting to welcome the alumni back on this alumni weekend.
We will have the alumni game. Blue versus white, I believe, will be the game just following this one.
Should be a lot of fun to see the Eagles of old come back and play for the team.
Pace might be a little bit slower than what we're seeing now, but everybody's going to be having a lot of fun. Clemson comes down the near side boards. They gain the Eagles end. Sharp angle shot goes off the outside of the net. Goaltender Nico Proulier will regain his net-minding duties for the Eagles to start this period. And a shot on the far side came from Miller, but he fanned on it. Turnaround backhand went through the crease. Clemson cannot clear it out, but on the second effort, they will skate it through the neutral zone. Slap shot at the blue line gets deflected. May have caught Proulier by surprise, but luckily it went past his far side post. Clemson with a good step up in the neutral zone, and it's going to be Peachnick to streak down the right wing wall. Stops up behind the net. He's met by the shoulder of Ebner. Two-a-side battle back behind the net. Referee going to let him play it out. Eagles will have possession out the far side of their net. Barger, the defenseman, will skate into a forward posture, and he loses possession, but a diving play gets it into the zone. Barger skates right in, and he just missed on the far side post after a brilliant effort. Tigers will try to get it out of their zone. They will, but only to have it sent up into the netting and out of play. 18:01 left in the second.
What a play by the captain. What a play of skill, display, dedication, hard work, and all the similar adjectives. Just couldn't finish it at the end there.
And that's the leadership that the Eagles need right now to bounce back after a disappointing overtime loss last night. And again, short glass getting the better of Clemson. Thrown up into the netting and out of play. Eagles will have an in-zone face-off on their offensive side of the ice.
At this rate, every fan in the stands is going to get a puck.
And so for our fourth puck drop of this period, Eagles keep it in the zone, pass out into the middle, looking for man out in front. That was number 22, David Lytle. Couldn't get a handle on it, and that will allow Clemson to come back through the center of the ice. Over on the far side, a good back check from Solomon will allow Barton, to send it to the near side. Solomon streaking down the near side wall over the blue line, met by a back-checking purple jersey, and Clemson will come right back. Down the near side boards, Rovero cuts right in. He's taken down on the play, and that's going to be a penalty against number 77 for the Eagles. And I don't have a name on my roster for that.
Tough play by Justin Hansen there.
Hansen, thank you.
Tried to do the best he could to push that forward out of the way, and unfortunately took him down.
So the Tigers using their speed from Chris Rovero to draw their second power play of the game. Eagles 2 for 2 on theirs, and the Tigers are going to try to go 2 for 2 on this next chance.
See if the Eagles can finally break the streak of power play scoring.
Shot 17-8 in favor of the Eagles. Solomon, the man left out in the neutral zone, will come back to the bench and leave 4 skaters out for Embry-Riddle. Eagles trying to clear it out off the faceoff. Barger couldn't get to it, and that will allow Clemson to set it up in their zone. Rio on the far side sends it down low, looking for a pass out in front. Good block, and it's kicked to the near corner. Barger dealing with a pair of purple jerseys, and it's sent to the near corner where Jackson sends it back down low. Butterfield gives it back, and he will get it back behind the net. They got to play up at the blue line for Halsey. Sends it back down low for Jackson. Pass into the middle, stolen away by Sikala. He loses a handle at the blue line, and it will be a delayed offsides. It came out just by an inch. Clemson not knowing that it's a delayed offsides, and this faceoff will come back out into the neutral zone with 1:18 left on the Eagles penalty kill.
Barger looking to see if it goes all the way down. I think that's only in the NHL that happens.
Maybe not even in the NHL. Most of the time I see that in youth hockey, but...
And all the way down? Oh.
And all the way down in youth hockey. But college is a much different level than youth hockey. And Barger is not going to be able to persuade the linesman to send it down. But nonetheless, the Eagles are able to clear it into the far corner, into the Tigers zone. Tigers will streak out from behind their own net down the near side boards. Good skate there from the Eagles. That was number 11, Chris Romero, who stopped the streaking Tiger coming into the zone. Clemson coming out the near side of their goal on the stick of Judah. Comes in right down the center of the zone, fails on the toe drag, and will leave possession for Montag. Montag dumps it into the near corner. Ebner sends it far side for Barger. It goes through him. And Baltus is able to step in and keep the play alive for the Tigers. 30 seconds on their power play.
Miscommunication by which Eagle there should dump the puck out leads to a Clemson possession.
Montag circling on the far side, looking for a one-touch on the near side off the stick of Vanderleest, and it was too far away from him, and the Eagles will send it the length of the ice. 17 seconds to go on the Eagles' penalty kill. Tigers with a quick play up into the Eagles zone, looking for a pass into the middle. They reverse up to the blue line. Good play by Ebner trying to clear it out, can't do so. Diving play from Christian Judah, keeps it alive, fires a shot, and it gets blocked to the near side circle. Penalty time is up for the Eagles, and now this should be an offside play by the Eagles, but it was behind the official, so that is now the third call that is missed by the officials this game, but the Tigers bring it right back into the Eagles zone. Pitchforked out into neutral ice, and at the blue line the Tigers are forced to send it in on the delayed offsides. Wyatt Ebner behind his own net sends it off the near side boards. Eagles able to get it up to the blue line, but kept in by Joe Halsey. Back the other way come the Eagles. It's Ryan Knapp down the far side boards, trying to cut into the middle of the ice. Fires a shot, and I believe it may have gotten a piece of the shoulder of Nick Badger, but I think it hit the crossbar and went out of play. 14:45 left in the second period. Eagles lead 2-1, and the Eagles with the first penalty kill stop of this game.
It's definitely a big morale win for the Eagles, and see if they can carry that forward now that they're back at an even strength. It looks like this first line's going to look to get it done, as they often have. Looks like a too many men issue again for Clemson.
Clemson getting the correct number of players out on the ice. Eagles will win the faceoff, and a shot comes past the near side post. Tigers will get it out into the Eagles zone. Fowler with a good back check will send it to the far side of his own zone. Connor Laps will send that up and out of play, and the faceoff looks like will stay in the Eagles zone. 14:32 left in the second period of play. 2-1 lead for Embry-Riddle. Face-off on the far side circle in the Clemson offensive end. Eagles will win their defensive zone face-off, and it'll be thrown off the short glass out into the neutral zone, intercepted by the Eagles. Shepard comes right back over the blue line. Shepard takes the shot. Blocker save is made by Badger. Mark sends it up to the blue line. Knapp with a long shot into the midsection and out of the padding of Badger. and he's able to corral the rebound for a whistle. But again, as you said, Andrew, one of the main messages in the locker room was men in front of the net, and that message seems to have gone over everybody's head. There was no one in front for that shot from the blue line, and a juicy rebound given up, and no Eagle was there to pounce on it.
Badger's going to be able to stop those, or at least put those into the corner all night long, and the Eagles are going to have to put some stuff in front of them in order to get more pucks in.
Only lead by a goal here in the second period. In the game before us, Florida State University versus University of Florida. And FSU came back from a 5-2 deficit to win by a score of 6-5. So no lead is safe this weekend. Eagles have to probably pump in a couple more goals if they want to ensure a victory here. And it looks like it's going to be a slashing penalty against the Eagles. Alex Fowler protesting his case all the way into the penalty box, but he will sit for a 2-minute minor for slashing.
Look, that might have been making the motion for a hold there. I'm not even sure. I might have missed the play. I don't know if did you see the call?
I didn't see the actual play, slashing and holding, depending on how fast the official's movement is. Either way, it's a 2-minute minor penalty, and the Eagles are going to have to kill off another penalty.
Fowler seems to be pretty upset with the call himself. Doesn't seem to agree, but not too many players do.
Eagles will win the faceoff in their own zone, trying to keep possession away from Clemson. They force it to the corner, but the Tigers will maintain it at the blue line. Judah will send a pass onto the near side, looking for a pass back to Judah. It's deflected by an Embry-Riddle skate and cleared all the way down the ice by the Eagles into the near corner, where Nick Badger will set it up behind the Clemson net. Judah will give possession up to Vanderleest. Vanderleest on the near side boards for Clemson, evading a couple of checks, streaking down into the half wall. And now players falling down on the near side, still has possession for Clemson. Baltus sends it far side looking for Judah. Judah will continue it down below the goal line for Montauk. Back up for Judah. Judah will send a shot off the shin pad. And Clemson will keep it in at the blue line on a failed clearing attempt. One-timer gets through, and a pad save had to be made by Prullier. Eagles have a chance to hold it along the boards. They take a check, so it's forced up to the blue line, and it gets through the Clemson defender, and the Eagles will be able to make a quick defensive line change. Long pass comes off the near side boards. Barton is there to send it up to the blue line, but intercepted by Clemson. And now at the red line, players battling for possession. Still looking to see who will come up with it, and it is the Tigers. Over on the far side, it's going to be Baltus. Baltus will send it into the Eagles zone, and they're going to say that it was going to go out of play. I believe the linesman was assuming that the puck was going to go out of play. So instead of Clemson going in on their forecheck, it will be a face-off out in the neutral zone. 28 seconds left on the Eagles' penalty kill.
A lot of Riddle sticks on that past shift were kind of flung out of their hands.
Face-off will be at center ice instead of in front of the Clemson bench, and the Tigers will skate it right back into the Eagles zone with 22 seconds to go on their power play. They have a man at the blue line in Peachnik. They will move it to the near side for Halsey. He takes a shot, gets through, stick save made by Prullier. Rebound on the far side, diving block by Barger. Comes out in front, and the Eagles get it up to the blue line, but not out. Halsey will send it to the far corner. They will send it the length down low. And on the far side, takes a shot, blocked in front by Barger. We're back to 5-on-5 play. Eagles still can't clear it. Rebound loose in the crease. Referee still has sight on it. Net has been knocked off of its pegs. And we will have a face-off in the Eagles zone after Prullier had to make a couple of saves on the seat of his pants.
Riddle survives a close call there with the puck not being frozen. Definitely a lot of credit given to the Riddle defenders for tying up the Clemson forwards in front, but definitely had me on the edge of my seat, a little too close for comfort.
Got to be able to get the puck out in situations where you have time to settle it down. And there were about 2 or 3 times where a slow roller came easily onto the stick of a Clemson defender to maintain possession on the power play. But we are back to 5-on-5, and the Eagles will try to get it out on the even strength play. Good keeping on the far side by Montauk. Tries to throw it into the middle, but he had no support, and the Eagles will send it out into the neutral zone. Back comes Sakala down, and he takes a heavy check in the high slot. And that may have been an elbowing penalty if the officials had deemed it. Looked like a high check from this vantage point, but play will continue. No penalty will come from the play.
The hit took out 4 people at once. It was incredible.
Clemson able to get it out to the red line, and Barger fans on the clearing attempt, and Clemson comes right back in. Here comes Clemson looking to find it. They take the shot. Rebound comes at the red line, and the play at the goal, there was a Clemson player that fell down and fell into the net, knocking it off its pegs. The puck was rolling in behind Prullier, and I believe the Embry-Riddle defender was there to stop the puck from going over the goal line, regardless of the net being knocked off.
Yeah, he definitely got it right before. A little too close for me to watch, but absolutely great play by the defender, bailing out his goalie, as they should. And definitely, again, taking the net, coming off its pegs. We'll take the whistle for sure.
And that was good speed again from Chris Rivero. That's the 3rd time I've mentioned his speed. He flat out beat all of the Embry-Riddle players to that loose puck in the high slot after a failed centering attempt by number 25, Brendan Barger.
Dangerous play in the neutral zone, ends up making a great scoring chance for Clemson, and we were lucky to get out of that. Interesting play by the Eagles here to have Fowler way off to the side.
We'll see if it works out, but the Eagles have to get it out of the zone for it to work. They get it out, and Ryan Marks is just going to skate it up himself. They got a 2-on-1. Marks with a long shot. He had Shepard on the far side, and he elected to take the shot, and he missed the post on the far side. Saucer pass comes into the middle, and the Eagles will steal it at the blue line, and they will retreat out into the neutral zone to settle the play down, but they give possession to Clemson. They come right back into the Eagles zone. Onto the stick of Jared Cohen. He comes back, leaves possession for Butterfield at the blue line, and it's rimmed back behind the Eagles' net. Thrown out into the crease. Tigers are right there swarming in front of Prullier, and he pounces on the rebound for a whistle with 10:14 left in the second period of play. Eagles lead by a score of 2-1 still here halfway through the second period of play. Shots 22-15 in favor of Embry-Riddle.
It's been a very, it seems like it's been a very even period in my opinion, definitely going back and forth. I think if I had to give the edge to any team, it probably would be Clemson, but Riddle's definitely had a few opportunities of their own.
A little bit of heroics from the Embry-Riddle netminder and Prullier, keeping this game in the hands of Embry-Riddle so far, but you can only ask your goaltender to do so much. At some point, you have to start helping him out.
The Eagles are going to definitely need to get back to the kind of hockey they were playing before, and tough breaks like that are not going to do that.
A diving shot in the high slot is going to force Barton into the penalty box. He's going to be sent to the penalty box for hooking after taking down number 14, Jared Cohen, on the play. He wasn't able to get a clean shot away. And so Embry-Riddle will go on their 3rd straight penalty kill in this period.
Hopefully a 3rd straight kill for the Eagles. Their penalty kills look sharp so far, but definitely don't want to give this Clemson power play any more opportunities than we already have. 9:48 left in the period. See if the Eagles can win this face-off back.
Face-off on the near side circle. At the blue line, Clemson is able to keep it in. They have possession on their power play. Vanderleest will get it back on the near side corner. Gets it up to the blue line for Judah. He takes a shot, gets deflected over the crossbar. Ebner will lose the race for the Eagles, but he keeps his man along the boards. Eagles with a chance to clear it out. They got to get it out if they want to be successful on the penalty kill, and they can't do it. Clemson keeps it back behind the net. At the blue line, Baltus can't keep it in, and Clemson will have to retreat into their own zone to set up their power play again. Out into the neutral zone over the Embry-Riddle blue line. Clemson will set it up on a saucer pass up to the blue line for Baltus. He walks into the high slot, backhand pass to the near side for Judah, and it's deflected off the skate of an Eagle defender and sent all the way down the ice. That'll take 60 seconds off of the Eagles' penalty kill. 8:50 to go in the second period. Tigers will once again gain the Embry-Riddle zone. Almost a tripping penalty, but everybody stays on their feet, and a shot gets deflected to the near corner. Turnaround shot goes wide of the net, and it comes to the far blue line for Butterfield to walk below the goal line. Reversed back for Butterfield on the far corner. Up at the blue line comes into the middle for Baltus, back into the middle for Judah. He takes a shot, rebound is there and covered up by Nico Prulier for a whistle with 33 seconds on the Eagle penalty kill.
Eagles got to be careful about giving up the neutral zone so easily and letting Clemson just walk in and establish possession.
Shots 22-17 in favor of Embry-Riddle. Tigers will win the faceoff up to the blue line for Halsey. Gets it down into the near side half wall, fakes the slap shot, goes back, and they will play catch on the near side boards. Glove down at the blue line by Halsey, and the Eagles will skate it out of danger on the stick of Lytle. Lytle with some hard forecheck pressure, and Lytle's going to take a holding penalty. And now the Tigers will pull their goaltender for the extra man. 6-on-4 play on the delayed penalty. Up at the blue line, Halsey takes the shot, gets past the near side post, rebound on the far side, pad save is made by Prulier, and we are back to 5-on-5 play for half a second, and the Tigers will go right back on the power play as Lytle with a little bit too much hand action on the near side half wall, holding the Tiger defender, and the Eagles will go back on the penalty kill.
It's a tough call to take in the offensive zone after such a great pressure by Lytle. Unfortunately, getting a little too antsy and trying to keep the pressure up and drawing the call. And the Eagles are going to have to go right back to what they were doing before, dumping the puck out and taking away the lanes, keeping the shots wide, and do it for 2 more minutes.
3 straight penalty kills for Embry-Riddle. They've killed them all, but now they're going to have to do it for a 4th time. 7:40 to go in the second period. That sees the Embry-Riddle Eagles leading by a score of 2-1 over the Clemson Tigers. Eagles doing a good job of holding the puck along the blue line, but the Tigers outnumber and gain possession, but it's stolen right back by the Eagles and sent all the way down the ice by Connor Laps. Baltus will set it up behind the Tigers' net, and they will take ice given to them. As you said, Andrew, they got to be careful of giving up the neutral zone, but here comes Miller, leaves it for Curson, fires a shot, rebound in the crease, and no follow-up was had there after a good save made by Badger.
Great combination there from Miller and Kierson to stand up in the neutral zone and make something of that. Clemson's going to have to be a lot more careful coming out of their own zone now.
Tigers on the far side of their own zone, backhanded, and here's a 2-on-1 for the Tigers. Montague takes a shot right off the mask of Prulier, rebound in the crease, and where is it? The referee signals a goal after that one went right off the face mask of Prulier. I don't see the puck. It might be under the paraphernalia of Curson in the net, and it is a goal for the Tigers, and they will score the equalizer. 6:44 left in the second period.
That was just a bad combination of a forward and a defenseman, and 2 forwards and a defenseman getting caught inside the Clemson zone, leading to almost a 3-on-1, and Prulier made the first save, but again, you could only ask, arguably maybe even made the second save, but on that third shot, the puck just trickles through. Not even sure how it got through.
And we were talking about this the other night. You as a goaltender, Andrew, how much does it rattle your cage to get stung in the face by a shot like that right off the face mask and then have 2 more players come right in and bang away at the rebound?
Oh, it's quite unpleasant. You're already having your ears ring and your face probably a little bit warm, and you have to be ready at 2 guys slamming into you.
So again, no help from the Embry-Riddle defense for their goaltender. And the Tigers tie the game up at 2. Clemson trying to get it out of their own zone. They backhand it up to the blue line, kept in by Fowler. He will send it into the middle for Shepard. Shepard tries to stuff it in front, but a poke check was made by Badger. And the Tigers will skate it out into the neutral zone on the stick of Rio. Rio cuts in over the blue line, met there by the shoulder of Ebner, forces him down to the ice. Marks unable to get it out of the zone, sent into the corner by Jackson. Jackson bodies Barger into the far corner, and Barger sends it up to the blue line, but not out. And now a second effort. Here comes Shepard, but a good step up by the Clemson defender. That was Joe Halsey, recognizing that Shepard was too far away from the puck to get a 2-on-1 opportunity in the works. Shepard trying to keep the puck on the far side of the boards. And a dangerous play up at the blue line. Clemson keeps it in. They got a man in the middle trying to get it there, but a stick from Ebner forces the puck into the near corner. Rimmed around back behind the net by Lamotte. And Shepard for the Eagles will hold it along the boards. And I believe we have, for the second time tonight, Guess what? A pane of glass out in the far side corner. And this one's going to be a little bit more tricky for the referees to do it by themselves. A taller pane of glass along with some netting. So we will take a break up here in the broadcast booth. 5:20 left in the second period of play. We are tied at 2 between the Embry-Riddle Eagles and the Clemson Tigers. Pane of glass is back in, and we are set to go for a face-off in the Clemson offensive zone on the far side circle. Clemson wins the face-off, but it's stolen away. Here comes Sakala on a clear break. Sakala right in on goal. Backhand save is made by the blocker of Nick Badger. Eagles still have possession. Backhander loose in the crease, and bodies flying everywhere, and that's going to draw a crowd. Players tumbling down left and right. Barton's going to tie up a man. Solomon has a man in the far side corner.
And this is a all-out scrum out here. Not sure what's happening. And the refs are going to, somebody's helmet's off.
That is number 21.
2 helmets are off.
Jack Morsey for Clemson has his helmet thrown away. And I believe Sakala, the man who had the original breakaway, also has his helmet thrown off. Cooler heads will prevail, and we will see what penalties come from this.
Haven't seen a little scrap like that in probably the entire season so far for Riddle. It's definitely rare to see. Helmets fly.
Clemson doing a good job of crashing the net, and Clemson taking exception to that. We will see what penalties come up on the board. Right now, Sakala goes into the penalty box for Embry-Riddle, and number 21, Jack Morsey, enters the box for Clemson. We'll see if those are the only ones that will be penalized. Solomon definitely had a man in the corner, and it was number 3, Cam Lamotte for Clemson, who knocked down one of the Embry-Riddle players.
I think it was Lytle. I think he took exception to that.
Lytle got knocked down by Lamotte, and Barton, coming in to help out his teammate, came in and tied up Lamotte. Everybody else roaming around on the ice right now. It's so far just Morsey into the box for Clemson and Sakala for Embry-Riddle.
It's going to be tough to identify if there was a third man in situation, because there were probably about 3 or 4 third man ins. Can't really necessarily pinpoint it on one player. In my unofficial opinion, I think taking the 2 guys who had the helmets off 2 minutes is pretty fair. Play some 4-on-4. Nothing more needs to be done. Don't need to hurt either team either way.
I can't imagine how the officials can deem which team should go down a man. But as I was saying, Solomon definitely had a man down in the corner, and Solomon will go into the penalty box for Embry-Riddle. So you got to hope that the same guy that Solomon was tied up with is also going to go into the penalty box for Clemson.
Or the guy who threw down Lytle. You're really hoping that at least one of those guys is going to go.
5:06 left in the second period. We're tied at 2. So far, 2 players in the Embry-Riddle penalty box, only 1 in the Clemson box.
Not agreeing with that so far. And the home fans are getting into it right now in the open time slot. Looks like a player's being ejected.
And it's Sakala being thrown out of the game. Maybe, hopefully, he just got a 10-minute misconduct that he's serving in the penalty or in the players' locker room, but based on his demeanor walking into the locker room, he seemed very upset.
Looked like one of the players who was down here, one of the fans down here, talked to him, mouthed ejection. So not looking good for him.
And it looks like number 21 for Clemson, Jack Morsey, is gathering his equipment. And I don't know the actual ACHA ruling, but both players' helmets came off. They both ripped each other's helmets off. So that may well be the game ejection per the ACHA rulebook.
The rule that I know of is that if you attempt to fight someone and remove your helmet, it's an automatic game suspension. Tearing someone else's helmet off is not quite familiar with, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was of similar consequence. But either way, each team's bench is one man lighter. And there's still one man in the Riddle penalty box only, so you got to figure that this rate, it's going to be a Clemson power play again, which the Eagles are definitely going to want to avoid after Clemson tied the game earlier on the 4th consecutive penalty taken by the Eagles of the period.
And now number 3 for Clemson, Cam Lamotte, the guy who was tied up with David Lytle, has gone into the penalty box for Clemson.
And
So-
all is right again, I guess.
As of right now, if Solomon and Lamotte both get minor penalties, we will have 4-on-4 on the ice. That is what I see on the penalty clock, 2 minutes up on each side. And as we're assuming up here, we'll try to find out more information at the intermission. I can only assume that fighting and removing a helmet is what got the other two players the game ejections. Their night is done. We'll see if their tournament is done. Both of these teams have games tomorrow. But right now it looks like we're going to stay 4-on-4. And that looks like the hand signal coming from Brendan Barger.
The refs have definitely had a long talk about it, trying to figure out exactly who should be serving what and how many. But it looks like everything seems to be squared away. They blow the whistle. Everybody's going back and going away from their benches, or should be.
And other than maybe the Clemson coaches wanting Chris Barton penalized for also coming in and coming after Lamotte, who had David Lytle down on the ice, that's about the only reason I could see Clemson wanting another penalty against Embry-Riddle. But from up here, 4-on-4 on the ice seems to be the right call.
And the Clemson fans are definitely getting into it, trying to encourage their team. A little away presence. I think it was a booster club here.
Daytona Beach chapter of the Clemson Club of Florida is here in full attendance. It's a bye week for the Clemson football team, so they came out in the masses after hearing about Clemson's hockey team coming into their own Daytona arena.
Always appreciate that and welcome them here, and hope they're enjoying the hockey in the weekend.
Couple of good friendly banter going back and forth in the crowd, but we are 4-on-4 play finally back underway, and Clemson is going to have to deal with some offensive pressure from Brendan Barger, and his shot went over the crossbar. At the blue line, Ebner had his shot blocked in front. Clemson trying to bring it back the other way, and they will be met by the back check of Ryan Marks. Jake Rio will send it down the far side boards over the blue line for Clemson. Evades the check of Barger. He maintains possession in the corner. Ryan Marks with a good defensive play gets it up to the blue line, but not out again. Finally, on a second effort, Barger's able to get it to the neutral zone, but right on the stick of a Clemson defender who rims it right back into Eagle territory. Ebner out of the near corner will send it to the far side for Barger. He rims it off the glass for Fowler, gives it back to Barger. Slowly comes to the near side for Ebner. Ebner for Fowler. Eagles finally getting out of their own zone, but a dangerous pass across the ice. Fowler loses it, and at the blue line, Clemson's going to be on the delayed offsides, and they will blow it dead after Jake Vanderleest.
And that looks like an intentional offsides. That looks like that's going all the way down.
And quite honestly, I can't understand how this is going to be thrown all the way down the ice, because it looked like miscommunication from all three officials. No one put their hand up. I literally saw the official on the far side of the ice shrugging his shoulders, not knowing what to call, and that's what the Clemson players saw.
Definitely does not seem to be the first time tonight that there's been some miscommunication from the referees. It's making this game a little more interesting than it should be.
Baltus with speed for Clemson, takes the shot pad saved by Proulier. On the near side corner, Clemson with another shot, sticked back behind the net by Proulier, settled down by Laps. He will send it up the boards for Curson, intercepted by Clemson at the blue line. They send it down low. In the slot, Montauk circles up to the blue line, comes near side for Jackson. Jackson fires a shot off the outside of the net, and Knapp will rim it up the far side board, settled down by Clemson, and Usiak will get it out into the zone, but that's as far as he'll get. Tigers were able to send it back into the Eagles zone. 3:18 to go in the second period, 10 minutes left of 4-on-4 hockey.
Clemson definitely seems to be buzzing right now, controlling the play and the flow inside the Eagles zone. The Eagles have to get the puck out.
Second effort, and Usiak will be able to skate it out. We're back to 5-on-5 play. Usiak with a good outstretched stick keeps play from going offside. Fresh off the bench, Miller trying to get a shot on goal, but it deflects back behind the net. Usiak pinching in, and Clemson is able to get it up to the blue line, but not out.
Big hit down there.
Finally, second effort, Clemson skates it down the right wing wall. Good back check from Curson, and a dangerous play by Knapp, and a diving pass can't get it out. Clemson keeps it in momentarily. Players tangled up at the blue line, and Eagles will come back with 2.5 to go. Miller on the far side fires a shot, and it was a stick save by Badger. Kept in at the blue line. Here come the Eagles, passing in the middle for Usiak. Loose in the slot, deflected up and out of the zone. It is Curson in his own end, gets it far side for Barton. He will send it back across in his own zone, comes up the boards for Miller. At neutral ice, he will turn possession right over to the Tigers. Clemson trying to get possession in their own zone with a hefty forecheck, but it does come out into the neutral zone, deflected away by Curson off a pass from Barton. Miller will settle it down at the blue line, but a diving play will spring a 50-50 puck into the Eagle zone. Barton will skate all the way down. Puck will not make it to the goal line. Icing is waved off.
Miller's been out there for quite some time. See if he can get to the bench soon.
Curson finishes his man along the glass. Clemson will steal it back in the corner, but a good stick will allow Curson with a second attempt to clear it out. He will airmail it up for Solomon. Solomon streaking down the far side boards. He's got a 2-on-1. Solomon takes the shot. Stick save made by Badger. Again at the blue line, Clemson will bring it out. They will gain the Eagle zone with 1:12 to go. Long shot goes right into the midsection of Prullier, and he will hang on for a whistle with 1:10 left in the second period. Score tied 2-2 between the Clemson Tigers and the Embry-Riddle Eagles. Shots 28-12 in favor of the hometown Eagles. Face off on the near side circle. Glove hand side of Prullier in the Eagles zone. Bouncing puck in the near side corner will be possessed by the Tigers. They try to send it into the middle. No purple jersey was there, so they have to send it up to the far half wall. This one is deflected up into the netting and out of play. We are at 58.9 seconds to go in the period.
Scary tip there by the Tigers, definitely trying to sneak in a last-minute goal to go into the second intermission. Eagles have to be careful, make sure that they're tying up sticks and that Prullier can see the puck.
At the blue line, Clemson has it. They move it to the far side for a shot by Peachnik. That was deflected by Solomon to the neutral zone. Tigers at the red line will send it in. Delayed offsides. Tigers touch up and they will begin their forecheck. Solomon will let that one squeak past him on the far side, evading a check. And the Tigers will send it up the near side boards. Barger's there to intercept that play, but it gets through him, and the Tigers bring it into the near corner. Rolled in front, man in the high slot, fires a shot just past the near side post. That was number 18, Jake Vanderleest, with a good shot. And at the blue line, again another shot. Solomon diving down to block that shot. He may have gotten a piece of it to deflect it over the net. Peachnik retreating out of the zone. Solomon will skate it up for the Eagles. He takes a shot, and it was a slow one right into the midsection of Nick Badger, and he hangs on for a whistle. 12.8 to go in the second period. Eagles will have one last chance on an offensive zone face-off. Face-off will be on the far side circle. It is a forehand face-off for Ryan Marks. We'll see if he tries to win it back. He tried, but it was a face-off win for Clemson. They're going to try to hold it along the boards. They fail to do so. Ryan Marks tries to move it in front of backhander, loose in the crease. Rebound is there in the paint, and it will be covered up by Nick Badger with 2.9 seconds to go.
A little bit more mustard on that second attempt, and that puck was in the net. Just couldn't get a full stick on it, and Badger was able to corral it and get back in. Definitely a great chance by the first line of the Eagles. with just a few seconds to go.
Clemson will finish up their one-man line change. 3 seconds to go in the period. Marks wins it back. A backhander from Barger. Loose on the far side. And a big diving save by Nick Badger. Out of nowhere, Superman diving over on the far side for Clemson saves the game. Going into the third period, we will be tied at 2 instead of Embry-Riddle leading by a score of 3-2.
Wow, what a sequence of events. What 2 amazing chances in under the last 10 seconds. I mean, Eagles are doing everything they can in the last minute but scoring. They just have to bring that intensity back in the third period. But it is going to stay tied into the third period.
I was ready to make the goal call on the far side, and Nick Badger made a man out of me, just making sure that I didn't say it, because I saw a wide open net over on the far side, and Nick Badger had other ideas.
I was just waiting to see the twine move, honestly. I was just looking at the net saying, yeah, that puck's going to be in there in probably about a second, but didn't happen.
We will be back for the start of the third period here on YouTube. Here at the Daytona Ice Arena, the Embry-Riddle Eagles are tied with the Clemson Tigers 2-2 going into the third period. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for the start of the third and final period here between the Clemson Tigers and the Embry-Riddle Eagles. We will be tied at 2 going into this final period of play. Shots 32-22 in favor of Embry-Riddle. I'm Nick Gimble bringing you all the play-by-play action. Alongside me is Andrew Caputo. And Andrew, what does Embry-Riddle have to do to stay on top at the end of the third period?
Well, Coach Galante, the assistant coach for the Embry-Riddle Eagles, went in there and gave a fiery pep talk speech emphasizing how the team needs to stop playing so lackadaisically and end the game on a high note for these alumni to be proud of. And I think it really, it seemed to inspire the team in the locker room. We'll see if we can inspire them on the ice.
Clemson will have opening possession in their own zone. They get it out into the neutral ice. Will be deflected all the way down. Icing is waved off. Puck does not make it to the goal line. Embry-Riddle on the near side corner sends a pass dangerously into the center of the ice. Rolls off the stick of Fowler, and he will send it up the boards for Shepard. They got a 2-on-1. Shepard fires a shot off the near side pad. Rebound, and another save is made, and it's going to be covered up on the near side of the net by Nick Badger.
Before this period gets in too deep, just wanted to give a shout out to the Borghi family who's listening. I used to play with their twin sons down in South Florida, and one of their sons is playing for Clemson now. And nice to get to meet up with old friends every once in a while. I want to thank you guys for listening.
19:26 left in this third period, still tied at 2. Barger is unable to keep that one in at the blue line, and this will go for an icing call. They're going to say it bounced over his stick and that Barger had no chance to make a play on it.
So far the Eagles seem to be playing with some energy and some emphasis. Definitely see if they can pepper the goalie in this final period here.
Face off again on the near side circle. Top line out for Embry-Riddle. Marks will win the face off to the near side. Shepard moves it up for Barger, sends it cross ice on a hard pass for Wyatt Ebner. Rimmed around behind the net. Marks continues it along for Shepard. Back down low into the corner for Marks. Up for Shepard. He takes a shot wide of the far post, all the way around the boards and out into the neutral zone. Ebner with a pass over to the far side for Fowler. Fowler gains the red line and dumps it into the near corner. Stays in play high off the glass. Baltus cycles away for pressure for Clemson, and he gives it up in the high slot. Clemson on a second effort still can't clear it out. Fowler keeps it in. Fowler over to the near side half wall. Baltus is there to steal it away back for Clemson, but given right to Shepard, looking for a pass at the blue line, but fresh off the bench was Chris Barton, and he was not at the blue line waiting for that puck, and a shot went right off the skate of the Clemson defender. He shakes it off, and back comes Clemson down the near side boards. Chris Rivero is able to win the race to the dot, negates the icing call. Embry-Riddle will have possession out of the near corner. Plenty of space to work with, Kersen does. Kersen leaves it for Barton, and a blocker save had to be made by Badger. Cycled down into the corner, good read there from Halsey, and Clemson will get it out into the neutral zone. Barton one touches a pass into the middle, looking for Usiak, but it's stolen away by Clemson. Montag cuts right into the center of the blue line and will dump it in on a backhand. Barger fans on the pass, and Clemson has it right into the crease, thrown to the far side corner, out of the danger of the center of the slot. Now players falling down over on the far side. Barton ties up his man, and that's going to be a holding penalty against Chris Barton.
Tough call to take. Looks like he was trying to go in to play the body, got spun a bit and grabbed him while he was spinning. Not the call the Eagles want to have this early in the third period.
Completely unintentional, but hard to argue that one from Chris Barton. And the Clemson Tigers will go right back on the power play. They had plenty of power play opportunities in the second period and just couldn't find the back of the net until finally they buried one late in the second period. Eagles will quickly send this one all the way down the ice, and it will be sticked down by Badger, left behind the net for Halsey. Halsey will escape out the near side of his own net. Sent up the near side boards for Butterfield. Skates in over the Eagles' blue line around Miller. Butterfield stops up in the near corner, backhands it up to the half wall. He's got Halsey at the blue line, goes back for Butterfield in the corner. Up for Halsey at the blue line, gets it back to the half wall. Walking in, goes cross ice for a one-timer, and Peachnik was unable to get a handle on it. At the half wall again, Clemson sets up their power play, moves into the corner, cross ice to the blue line. Peachnik looking for a shot, can't find it. Will escape down to the half wall, cycles back up to the blue line. Saucer pass near side, Halsey one touches it down into the corner, and Ryan Knapp is there, sends it up to the boards, but it's intercepted in the corner by Clemson. Looking for a sharp angle shot, they get a second one, rebound in the creases, steered to the far corner. And it will be sent the length of the ice by Embry-Riddle. They will make their wholesale line change as Clemson sets up their remaining 52 seconds on their power play out of their own zone. Halsey sends it up, and he will get it back over on the far side blue line, almost an offside play. Solomon gets it out to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Adam Montag throws it into the middle. Embry-Riddle gets it to the blue line, but not out. Baltus has that one roll in towards the high slot, and it's sent all the way back out by Malchewski, but it's rimmed right back in by the Tigers. Embry-Riddle trying to clear it out, can't get it around Baltus, but his shot goes high off the body of Ebner, and he fails to clear it as well. 16 seconds to go in the Clemson power play. Rimmed around to the near side half wall. Baltus keeps it in for Clemson. 5 seconds until we're back to 5-on-5 play. Clemson walks in off the wall. They got a man down low looking for a backhander. It comes off the blocker of Prullier, and the whistle will come from the referee. We are back to 5-on-5 play. And Prullier was able to stop that last second chance on the power play from Clemson.
Definitely got lucky there, take the break on the quick whistle. Did not look like Prullier had possession, but the refs may have just lost sight of it or assumed he did. Either way, the Eagles will take that.
Faceoff will stay in the Eagles zone on the near side circle. Montag is going to try to win this first for Clemson. He can't do so. It's sent to the far corner in the Eagles zone. Montag takes a body and he will yield possession to Embry-Riddle. They try to glove it down back there. Still it's battled for, and finally it comes to the near side where Rovero settles it for Clemson. Embry-Riddle with a chance to clear on the turnover, and it's dumped right back in behind Prullier. Up the far side of the boards, and it's kept in again by Clemson. Embry-Riddle trapped in their own zone on the shift. Rovero will leave possession for Vanderleest. Vanderleest looking down low for Rovero, stolen away by Embry-Riddle, kept at the blue line by Clemson. A long shot goes off the blocker hand of Prullier. Bodies colliding on the near side corner. Embry-Riddle finally gets it out into the neutral zone, but it's sent right back in again by Clemson. And right now, the only way Embry-Riddle's going to get out of their own zone is because Clemson makes a wholesale line change. Embry-Riddle will throw it off the near side boards. And Halsey will move it to the far side for Peachnik, and Clemson comes right back into the Eagles zone. Here comes Butterfield, streaks right in, fires a shot, shrugged off by Nico Prullier. Eagles again now having to deal with a fresh line off the Clemson bench. Moves it up to the blue line. Peachnik fires a shot off the outside of the far post. Clemson a couple of inches away from regaining their one-goal lead that they had in the first period. Eagles with a quick line change, and Prullier with a smart chip up into the netting and out of play for a whistle that the Eagles desperately needed.
Scary tip there, unintentional of course by Barton, and the shot that came in almost fooled Prullier, but Eagles definitely needed this whistle. Take a breath, decompress, come back out with their top line, and see if they can get something done here, because it's been all Clemson.
Right now, Eagles still leading 35-27 on the shot board. But right now, just taking a look at the ice and how chewed up it is in the Embry-Riddle defensive zone, it looks like a fresh sheet of ice on the Clemson end. Eagles have to get out of their own zone if they want to have any chance to win their first game of the weekend. Clemson has possession in the neutral zone. Jamie Peachnik throws it off the near side boards, takes a check from Ryan Marks doing so, and this will be an icing call against Clemson, and this will be the first time that the Embry-Riddle Eagles will have some offensive zone pressure. 13:36 to go in the third period. We're tied at 2 here at the Daytona Ice Arena. ACHA round-robin action this weekend. Embry-Riddle hosting the Clemson University Tigers. Ryan Marks will force the pass down low off the faceoff. Loose in the crease on the far side. Shepard's taken down on the play. Loose puck on the far side. And the faceoff will come due to the net being knocked off of its goal line.
Great job of this first line making something out of nothing there. It seemed like an innocent throw at the net, but a scramble almost resulted in Riddle taking the lead. So definitely a lot of good work there, a lot of grinding, and it just shows what happens when you crash the net and you work hard for those rebounds.
Top line for Embry-Riddle will stay out on the ice. Ryan Marks trying to win it back. He will get it to Fowler. He takes a shot wide of the far post. Tigers will send it up to the blue line, kept in momentarily by Laps, but he yields possession. Here comes Clemson on a 2-on-2. Butterfield on the far side takes a shot, blocked into the high circle, bouncing puck. Laps can't clear it out, stolen away. And it's a good back check by Ryan Marks. He tries to gain the Clemson zone. He will. And he yields possession for Shepard to send it back below the Clemson goal line. In front for Fowler, and he just couldn't get a handle on it. Vanderleest cuts in over the Embry-Riddle blue line, takes a shot wide of the near post again. Fowler bodies up his man, forces the puck below the goal line. Clemson has it in the Embry-Riddle zone. Thrown below the goal line, pass out in front, intercepted by Shepard, thrown up to the blue line. Long shot comes into the midsection, and another play by the official, giving Perlier benefit of the doubt. 12:32 left in the third period, and Clemson gets a short whistle that they are protesting, and it may look like that the officials are calling a crease violation against Clemson. The official looks to be signaling the face-off out into the neutral zone.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know we had crease violations in this league.
And there may well not be, but the referee might be calling it. I saw the referee pointing to the crease and signaling a face-off in the neutral zone. So Embry-Riddle's going to get a face-off in the neutral zone, but Clemson's going to bring it right back into the Eagles' zone. Clemson unable to keep it in there, and it's thrown right back out into neutral ice. Thrown to the far side, and here comes Jackson trying to get around Ebner. Can't do it, and he's forced to dump it to the far corner.
It's only a matter of time at this rate until Clemson scores. The Eagles really need to rally here and make something happen. They can't stay hemmed in their zone this entire period.
And this one will be deflected out of play for a whistle, and another face-off on the near side circle again in the Eagles' defensive zone. 12:03 to go in this fast-paced third period, already almost 8 minutes gone, still tied at 2. And as you said, I haven't seen that shot clock move for Embry-Riddle quite yet. They have had very little possession in the Clemson defensive zone. They will get the puck down there off the face-off, but it is under Clemson possession, thrown off the body of the official, and the Eagles will pick up the loose puck. Thrown into the middle for Usiak, loose on the near side, and the rebound is covered up by Badger.
Another break where the officials are getting a little more involved in the play than they should be. It leads to a Riddle chance this time, but it's definitely been going back and forth as to who it's been disadvantaging.
And at least that's all you can ask for, the referees being consistent and being in the way and wrong at some times. We've seen missed calls go both ways, but at least the consistency is there for the Stripes tonight. Face off on the near side circle. Clemson will win it, and they have possession in their own near side corner. And the Tigers will skate it out on the stick of Andrew Butterfield. Comes down the near side blue line, unable to get around Barton, in a back-checking Lytle will steal the puck away, but it's given right back to the Tigers in their offensive zone. Huge collision on the near side, and a late call is going to come. It's going to be a boarding penalty as David Lytle was thrown into the boards at a dangerous angle. I thought the whistle was going to come a little sooner on a dangerous play like that, but Andrew Butterfield is going to get a penalty for boarding for Clemson.
And Lytle's had an issue with some shoulder problems before. Gotta hope that didn't jar anything or stir up any old injuries there. Good to see he seems like he's shaking it off and he's all right.
2-minute minor penalty for boarding against Andrew Butterfield for Clemson, and the Eagles will have their first power play chance of this third period to try to regain their 1-goal lead. We are tied 2-2 between the Tigers and the Eagles. Ryan Marks is going to try to win this back for the Eagles, and he will get it back to Barger. Barger on the near side blue line, walks into the middle, near side for Shepard. Shepard takes the shot off the crossbar and up into the netting and out of play. Andrew Shepard just a couple of inches away on his own end, trying to give his team the lead.
So close there from Shepard. He's definitely going to be looking to make that same kind of play again, maybe just a couple inches lower.
Up at the blue line, it's Barger again. He sends it down low, taking a huge collision doing so. Slow to get up, and this one loose in the crease, poked at by Embry-Riddle, and Nick Badger is there to jump on the loose puck in between his legs. And Clemson will stave off another rush in front of their own net.
Good to see Barger back on his feet in the play. He wasn't in there for quite some time.
Barger was absolutely creamed at the blue line on what may have been a late check right in front of the referee. Didn't call it. And you're right, good to see Barger get back up and regain his footing, ready for the play here on the near side faceoff in the corner. Marks has it with 1:35 to go in the Eagles power play. Marks up to the blue line for Ebner. Back down for Marks on the far side, takes a shot, blocked to the near corner. Barger steps in to send it in below the goal line, looking for Shepard, but it's stolen away by Clemson and rimmed all the way down the ice. Perlier will come out of his net to settle it down behind the goal line, and Wyatt Ebner will send a pass through the legs of Shepard. And a good skate from Fowler. He comes into the Clemson zone. Fowler takes the shot, and he took out his pitching wedge for that shot, fired it over the glass and out of play. And now Alex Fowler is going to get a 10-minute misconduct for what I can only say is a nasty gesture to the Clemson bench. So the Embry-Riddle Eagles will be without one of their top line forwards for pretty much the rest of this game. 10:36 to go in the third period, and Alex Fowler just picked up a 10-minute misconduct.
Wow, that was quite a turn of events there. It seemed like one of the Clemson players was definitely egging him on, to say the least.
No doubt about that. It was the Clemson bench definitely wanting Fowler to make some sort of reaction. He was already slamming his stick 2 or 3 times after missing the net on a great chance. And Alex Fowler just losing his mind there right in front of the Clemson bench, giving a gesture to the Clemson Tigers that caught the eye of the officials and drew a 10-minute misconduct.
I guess good to see it's not going to shorthand the team as far as it stands now, but it is in a way, because losing that top-line winger like Fowler is definitely going to make it more difficult for the Eagles to score this leading goal.
Not an on-ice strength penalty, but it is leaving the Eagles without one of their top-line forwards, and the faceoff will come all the way down into the Eagles zone. Eagles still have 1:07 to go on their power play. And here comes Curson right through the center of the ice. He backhands it off the body of a Clemson defender, and then the Tigers will be able to get it out into the neutral zone.
We'll see if Kyle Usiak or David Lytle will get that shot at that first line top wing, because they've been playing solid all night.
Rebound over on the far side corner. It's going to be thrown all the way down the ice. No icing on the play as it's a short-handed dump in by Clemson, but they will try to kill as much time as possible. Brendan Barger doing as much as he can to steal the puck away, and he does. Good pass on the tape for Usiak. Usiak down the near side board, stops up at the blue line, takes a check, moving the puck down low for Curson, but stolen by Clemson and sent all the way down the ice. Clemson feeling like they're getting a little bit of momentum here. All 10 minutes of this period seems to be down in the Embry-Riddle zone, and they're getting support from their fans that have made the trip from their Daytona Beach chapter club.
Yeah, it seems like the only pressure Riddle really has had has been on this power play.
And this turnaround shot from Curson that went off the outside of the net comes to the near side corner. Ryan Knapp looking for a pass, streaking down low. Curson sends a slow roller down low for Miller. He's knocked down on the play, rimmed all the way around the boards, and the linesman is signaling an icing call that will be finished by the head referee. 9:13 to go in the third period. Shots 41-28 in favor of Embry-Riddle, and quite honestly, I think we have the shot clock backwards here. I've seen that number 28 up on the board for quite a long time on the guest side of the board on the Clemson side, and that number on the other side has skyrocketed from about 30 to 41, and I got to assume that it's Clemson leading in the shot category, 41-28 the way Clemson's playing, and the Tigers will utilize their timeout and just make sure that everybody's settled down for this in-zone face-off.
It's be a good opportunity for Coach Joyce to come in and kind of lay up a game plan for how to take advantage of this offensive zone draw, kind of calm the team down. You know, the power play's ended. You know, we're back to 5-on-5. You know, got to get in there and chip, work hard, and make something of this. They've been lucky to survive this far without a goal, and they want to capitalize on it, take advantage of it.
And it's all on the back of Nico Perlier. He's made save after save this period, keeping his team in this game, and that's all you can ask a goaltender to do. But at some point, your forwards have to be able to put the puck in the net. Faceoff will be on the far side circle in the Clemson defensive end. We'll see what kind of play the Eagles come out with. Coach Joyce having to do some line juggling now that Alex Fowler is basically done for the game. If the Eagles can get a whistle with 36 seconds or under left in this period, they'll be able to get him out on the ice, but they will be without that top line forward for the remainder for the time being.
And you can't forget about that ejection from earlier, so there's already 2 forwards down, making it a little light up front.
Daniel Sikala, one of the Eagles tossed out earlier, or the only Eagle tossed out earlier for what we can only assume is removing an opponent's helmet during an altercation.
From when I spoke to him, it seemed like the refs indicated it was merely just this game, so no future suspensions for either player.
Quick shot off the face-off from Embry-Riddle, and it went past the far post. Bounce off the Zamdor entrance. Solomon was able to corral it to the far side. Pass looking for the top, and it's into the middle for Solomon, and a big save is made there from Badger. Embry-Riddle with some life in their offensive zone. Clemson outnumbers 3-2, and it looks like they will yield possession still. Barton at the blue line for the Eagles. Long shot, pad save made by Badger, and here comes Clemson right down the gut. Clemson trying to get in. No penalties going to come on this takedown, and the Eagles will try to streak back the other way. Can't do so. At the blue line, the Tigers will enter the Eagles zone on an offside play with 8:35 to go in the third period. We are back to 5-on-5 play. We are still tied at 2 apiece.
The Alumni are getting excited, wanting to see their Eagles come out on top tonight, showing their support. Let's hope they can deliver.
Clemson will just force the puck into the Eagles zone. That will allow the Embry-Riddle defenders to get their in-zone regroup going, but Ryan Marks had it stolen away from him at the last second before he could dump it in. And this one will be continued along by Miller, who has taken the place of Fowler on this top line. Shepard with a shot, hit a stanchion, and a crazy home ice bounce gives Ryan Marks a rebound out in front, and a gift from the Daytona Ice Arena hockey gods gives Embry-Riddle the lead 3-2.
I didn't even see that go in.
A shot from the near side from Shepard was supposed to, physics-wise at least, the laws of physics, was supposed to send that puck all the way around the boards to the blue line, hit a stanchion behind the net, popped right out in front, and Johnny on the spot, Ryan Marks, backhanded it to a wide-open net, and Nick Badger, thinking also physics is supposed to take that puck around the boards, was nowhere near the front of his net. Ryan Marks just had his stick on the ice, right place, right time, and the Eagles lead by a score of 3-2.
Badger coming out to play the puck, not taking any more chances with the boards or glass behind him.
And for the second time this season, the Daytona Ice Arena gifting the Embry-Riddle Eagles a goal here in action.
Second time today, you could say that the Eagles got a lucky goal with that first goal actually going in quite a funky way as well.
Ryan Marks smells blood in the water. He wants more. A stuff attempt on the far side. A skate save was made by Badger. Tigers will come right back out into the neutral zone. Webster sends a pass up for Vanderleest. Vanderleest tosses it into the high slot, knocked down at the blue line, but here comes Marks on a turnaround, and what could have been called a slash earlier in this game is let go. Play continues on the far corner, and now we have a player taken down in the high slot, and we have a little bit of a scuffle in front of the crease. Light punches being thrown. Players will be separated by the officials. It was number 13, Jake Rio for Clemson.
It looks like Miller for Riddle, who came up and took the place of Fowler, and he might be on his way to that box, so that wing might be vacated again, so we might have to see who Coach Joyce throws in that position now again.
And if you're Miller, the only reason you're getting a penalty is because you got up and retaliated with that late punch. But it was all number 13, Jake Rio, who tackled Miller down to the ice. And it looks like we will have some more 4-on-4 hockey with 7:20 to go in the third period. That sees Embry-Riddle somehow leading by a score of 3-2.
Eagles have to work on their temper. It's been something that's definitely been costing them in the past few games, taking these penalties of retaliation for no reason. It's definitely it can be frustrating to watch. I'm sure on the bench it can be even more frustrating.
Face-off will be down on the near side circle, again in the Clemson defensive zone. 2 minutes up on the Clemson side of the board, 2 minutes up on the Eagles side of the board, and 4-on-4 hockey is set to go on the near side. Glove hand side face-off for Nick Badger. Ryan Marks is going to try to win this back to Brendan Barger for the Eagles. And now the Eagles center is going to be tossed after one of the Clemson wingers, Isaiah Jackson, gives a slash to Andrew Shepard. Clemson will win the faceoff in their own zone, and they will rim it to the far side, but the play is going to be intercepted by Marks.
That play confused me for sure. The Clemson player slashed our player's legs, and our center gets tossed out.
At the blue line, Ebner takes the shot, gets through, and a stick save is made by Badger. Failed clearing attempt by Clemson will allow Shepard to send it down low for Marks. He's got Ebner at the blue line, finds him on the near side. Ebner takes a shot that's blocked. Clemson player doing a pirouette right at the blue line. That was Montag who tries to find it in his feet. And Clemson unable to get it around Barger. And Barger will get it back in the far side. He's got speed down the far side. Peachnik with a good step up for Clemson. Forces the play back to him on the far side half wall. Saucer pass just barely connects with Butterfield, and he sends it up the far side boards for Vanderleest. Vanderleest cuts into the corner. Sharp angle shot in front, and Proulier has to make a rebound save with the blocker. At the blue line, Embry-Riddle is able to get it out, and here comes Shepard working 1-on-3 on all three defenders. This shot didn't miss by much over the crossbar on a rocket off the stick of Shepard. Tries to steal it away from Peachnik, given away. Kirsten fires a shot, blocked away up into the netting and out of play. 6:04 to go in the third period, 45 seconds to go on the 4-on-4.
Great shift by Shepard there, really doing a one-man wrecking crew, doing his best to get a shot off and work hard, get possession again, and get it to Kirsten for another great opportunity.
Eagles still lead by a score of 3-2. Face off on the far side circle. Kirsten wins it back, and at the blue line, Laps takes a shot, gets stopped in front, and Kirsten wasn't able to find the net on a backhand. Reverse down low, but it's intercepted by Clemson, and on the far side, Halsey will send it off the boards for a play by Cunningham. He tries to get it out to the blue line, and that's as far as he'll get before he's met by a pair of white jerseys. Usiak tries to force it along, but it's stolen away. Here comes Halsey down the near side boards. Halsey stops up, fires right into the chest, and a loose puck will be covered by Nico Proulier, and we have some more extracurricular activities behind the net that has been knocked off of its pegs behind Proulier. This has been a very physical and tight game all night long, and you can only expect the pressure to build so much with 5.5 to go in the third period.
I think the victim more than anybody in this game has been the Nets. It seems like they've been coming off almost on every other play.
The nets and the glass here at this arena just always find a way to come out.
Goodness.
Face off on the far side circle, Clemson offensive zone. Won by the Eagles, they rim it up the far side. Looking for Lytle, but it's intercepted by Clemson. They keep it in the zone, rimmed around to the near side corner, and they will move it up to the blue line for Peachnik. At the blue line, he doesn't have a shot, so he has to send it back down low. Comes into the high slot, and Laps will airmail it all the way down into the Clemson end of the neutral zone. Back to 5-on-5 play with 15.5 to go. In the third period, that sees Embry-Riddle leading by a score of 3-2. Good stick from Lytle keeps the Clemson Tigers in the neutral zone. Peachnik rims it around to the far corner, intercepted by Laps behind the net. Thrown hard off the near side boards. Eagles able to get it up and out. Thrown off the glass, and this will be an icing play, but the Clemson goaltender came out of his net to play it. That negated the icing. At the blue line, Ebner streaks in off the bench to keep play alive in the Embry-Riddle offensive zone. 4:40 to go in the third period. Clearance attempt gets stopped at the blue line by the Eagles, and Embry-Riddle will touch up on the delayed offsides. That will allow Joe Halsey for Clemson to stop up behind his net away from some forecheck pressure. On the far side, Adam Montag coming down over the blue line. Cuts in towards the net, lost the handle at the last second, has to deal with the body of Wyatt Ebner. Clemson tries to throw it to the near corner. They get it under the possession of ERAU. ERAU up to the blue line, slap shot, gets through, but it's past the near side post. Looking for a turnaround play, sharp angle shot, loose in the crease, walking right in. Clemson has a shot that's blocked in front by a diving Ben Solomon.
What a block by Solomon there. May have saved a goal.
At the blue line, Clemson keeps it alive again. And now there was a player, that was Ben Solomon, who had his stick kicked away from him a couple of times. Now Proulier is dove on top of, And now we have more players colliding in front. Solomon takes a man down. And now the concern is Prullier, as he was mounted from behind by a couple of players, both Embry-Riddle and Clemson alike.
Seems to be holding his head. And you got to worry about Prullier and Solomon as well. Going in there engaging that guy like that could provide a costly situation for the Eagles in both cases.
Players have separated. The officials are talking. No one has gone into either bench. And the Embry-Riddle coaching staff wanting some sort of explanation. Right now, number 11 for Clemson, Adam Montag, has made his way into the Tigers' penalty box. We'll see if that's the only penalty called. Solomon broke his stick along the boards, and he will make his way into the Eagles' penalty box. So Ben Solomon for the Eagles and Adam Montag for Clemson will both sit, and we will have some more 4-on-4 action with 3:42 left in the third period. We will see what times go up on the board, and we'll see where the face-off goes.
And the Clemson crowd giving a rallying cry in this last 3:42, hoping to see their team tie it up. Looks like there's just a penalty on the Eagles side so far. They threw coincidentals both on both sides.
And now we have our own chanting war in the crowd. Eagles fans trying to top the Clemson crowd in their own chanting battle.
It's getting loud here in the last few minutes.
And I was talking to this Clemson club. The players knew, they saw everything on Facebook that was going on. The Clemson Tigers players knew that this Clemson club was going to be here, so they have been amped up, ready for this game. And the Eagles trying to deal with a light crowd from what we've seen. Homecoming weekend, so you expect a little bit of a light crowd. And the crowd that's here trying to do their best to outmatch the loud Clemson group that's here right now.
Yeah, you know in your experience as well as mine that we traditionally tend to draw pretty well. And it's been a bit light this weekend having to compete with a concert tonight. The All-American Rejects are playing at Embry-Riddle's campus. And it's making it a little difficult to draw fans out of campus here.
Crowd starting to quiet down a little bit as we get set for a face-off in the Embry-Riddle zone. 4-on-4 play for the next 2 minutes. We still have 3:40 to go in the third period, and the Eagles will skate it all the way out into the neutral zone at the red line. They rim it around hard to the near side of the half wall. Still on the near side corner, Peachnik will send Miller into the boards, and they will just hang out for a whistle from the referee with 3:24 left in the third.
Good play by Knapp just to dump the puck in. That's what you want to do with this time and stage in the game. You know, you are winning on the scoreboard, not to make foolish plays, and Miller goes in there, kills a few seconds on the clock, gets an offensive face-off. Solid shift there.
We had 2 overtime regulation games last night. One of them went into a shootout. It was the Clemson versus UF game. We had a game almost going to overtime today as this shot went right in. Diving poke check is made by Badger off a beautiful redirect in front, and Clemson will skate it out of the zone. They have a partial 2-on-1, but a good back check from Marks will send this one out of the zone. As I was saying, both games into overtime were a shootout last night, and the game earlier before this one was just barely ended in regulation, as this one has to be stopped by the stick of Prullier in the Clemson offensive zone.
So far, every game's been decided by a goal in this tournament.
And now we have a Clemson player down on the near side. Chris Barton absolutely flattened one of the Clemson players in the corner, and that is going to be a penalty against Embry-Riddle. Clemson has to be smart here not to take a penalty, but it looks like it is number 13, Jake ERAU, who took a hard check on the near side. And all we can do is hope that he's okay. It is going to be Chris Barton. We'll see how many penalty minutes he gets here. But right now, it is Jake ERAU. He has his helmet off on the near side corner.
He definitely seemed to be in some distress. He was flailing a little bit, and I'm not sure what he was grabbing exactly, but he seemed to be in some pain. Hopefully the medical trainer for Embry-Riddle was over there, Harry Styles, and see if he can assist him in any way.
And as you know as well as me, that's the only corner of the ice that we really can't see from our vantage point. And unfortunately, that's where the injury happened. So we didn't have a clear view on it. But right now, trainers going to work on number 13, Jake ERAU of the Clemson Tigers. 2:44 left in the third period. We will take a little bit of a break here up in the broadcast booth. We'll try to get some more information for you guys on this injury to Jake ERAU. Right now, Embry-Riddle leading by a score of 3-2.
Oh, before you go, it looks like Chris Barton has been ejected from the game.
I only see 2 minutes up on the board for Clemson, as it was number 28, Jimmy Peachnick, now in the penalty box for Clemson. He picks up a 2-minute minor penalty. Chris Barton has made his way into the Embry-Riddle locker room, and now good to see Jake ERAU regain his footing with some help from the trainers. So we'll see how many penalty minutes come up on the board. And ERAU looking very woozy, he will just go straight off at the door that's right next to him. And he will be further evaluated by the trainers, I'm sure. So the officials are still discussing in their crease right in front of the timekeeper's box.
I mean, you can only speculate if Barton was leaving the game, and it's over 2 minutes left, that it could be a 5-minute major.
5-minute major and game misconduct, maybe for boarding, if we're looking at maybe a 2-minute minor and a 10-minute misconduct for a check from behind. We just don't know at this point, and we honestly won't know until we see time up on the board. And it is a 5-minute major penalty, and maybe there is a game misconduct. I know that 5-minute majors can be given out without a game misconduct at this kind of level. But right now, we will have 1 minute and 3 seconds of 3-on-3 hockey. The overtimes here are 5 minutes of 4-on-4 play, so we didn't get to see any 3-on-3 play last night in the 2 overtime games, but we're going to get to see some here. After the 1 minute and 3 seconds is up, it will be about 57 seconds of 4-on-4 play. And then Clemson will have 44 seconds of a 5-on-4 power play, and presumably 6-on-4 when they pull their goaltender if they can't tie this game up in the next 2 minutes or so.
Be a little bit of overtime action, it'll seem, a 3-on-3 action. A lot of open ice. See if the Eagles, looks like it's 3 of the fastest Eagles are going to be out there. See if they can thrive on that open ice, get some odd man situations, and put this game away before the 5-minute major really kicks in.
And now the Clemson coach wanting some sort of explanation. And we will see who Clemson decides to throw out. It is a face-off in the Embry-Riddle zone on the far side circle. 2:44 to go. Embry-Riddle leads by a score of 3-2, only from a gift from the Daytona Hockey Gods. Face off on the far side circle. We're finally set to go. Clemson will have possession, but it's given right back to Embry-Riddle. Barger's going to have a chance to clear. He throws it into his own bench, and that'll be a face-off back in the Eagles zone, right back where we started.
A little bit of a fake out there by number 4 on Clemson to try to look like he was going to pinch in to give Barger the idea that so he could chip the puck out and keep the face-off inside.
Vanderleest is going to try to win this for Clemson. He loses it, and Barger's going to chip it out into the neutral zone. And now here comes Vanderleest again for Clemson. Streaks right in, cuts into the middle. He's taken down on the play. No call comes from it. Embry-Riddle will get it out into the zone. Ryan Marks in a foot race with Baltus for Clemson. Baltus will get it out into the neutral zone. Here comes Clemson on a partial 2-on-1. Huge hit there at the blue line. Brendan Barger absolutely destroys his man. And now the Clemson player is going to get 2 minutes for interference after he threw Brendan Barger's stick away from him.
And that was just not a smart move there by number 17. or number 18, excuse me.
Jake Vanderleest is going to be the recipient of a 2-minute minor penalty. And now this is where things are going to start to get confusing.
And it looks like
if no one scores,
looks like Barger is being thrown into the penalty box as well.
That's going to be honestly quite a terrible call by the officials if they allow Barger to go into the penalty box. There was no penalty being called on the hit. Maybe they might call him for taunting.
Yeah.
They might call him for taunting for standing over Vanderleest after the hit. That's got to be the only thing I can see him getting called for.
The only thing other than that I might have seen was when the call was made, I don't know if he pointed towards the box, but I mean, another soft call here. I really can't understand this officiating. It's been incredibly inconsistent, at times non-existent.
And now the Clemson goaltender looked like he was trying to go to the bench for something. The linesman keeps him in the crease. It looked like a very solid, clean check from Brendan Barger. And again, the only thing I can think that they're giving him is some sort of unsportsmanlike penalty for taunting after the call was made or standing over the Vanderleest.
That has to be it. Again,
but in a one-goal game, 2:13 left in the third, you got to let that kind of stuff go if you're an official. That's one of the weaker calls I've seen called this late in the game.
Yeah, it's a real shame, and it seems like it's going to be a race to see who can fill the penalty box first. But Riddle's going to have to do without their captain for the next 2 minutes.
Icing will be called, and the faceoff will come back down into the Eagles zone. So now I guess a little bit of hockey karma coming back for Clemson. They had that strange bounce behind that was gifted to Ryan Marks. And I guess the hockey gods are shining back down on the Clemson Tigers, trying to give them some more opportunities. Up at the blue line, Clemson has it. Comes to the near side blue line for Butterfield. Butterfield loses it to Knapp. And it's going to be Joe Halsey to settle it down at the Clemson blue line. They gain the neutral zone, and they will send it into the body of Knapp. Embry-Riddle will get it out. Here comes Ryan Marks, but it's just too far in front of him. And Butterfield will settle it down for Clemson. They got a 2-on-2 back on the near side. Left into the high circle. And they will pass it out in front, but only to be intercepted by Knapp. Thrown up the boards. At the blue line, it's going to be kept in by Halsey. Thrown into the midsection of Butterfield. And it's stolen away by Marks. He might have a partial breakaway. And here comes Ebner. Ebner streaks in, fires a shot into the midsection of the Tiger goaltender, Badger.
And another broken stick.
And it looked like Badger wanted to get up and quickly play that puck. But a quick whistle from the referee will halt that play. So 36 seconds left until the Clemson Tigers have a 4-on-3 power play for the remainder of regulation. And it looks like Embry-Riddle would like to utilize their timeout with 1:19 to go in the third period. Eagles lead 3-2. Looked like the Eagles coaching staff wanted to use their timeout. I saw the hand motion for it, but I don't know if the referees have actually given it to them. Now they have, so we will have the official timeout used by Embry-Riddle.
We're getting a little bit of extra time on that timeout. Definitely can't complain there.
But it does you no good when your own players don't even know that you're getting the timeout. Everybody was lined up for the faceoff, and the the Embry-Riddle coaching staff wanted everybody to come back in and talk over this faceoff.
Looks like two freshmen are going to be out there for Riddle, showing that Coach Joyce is putting a lot of faith in the youth of the Embry-Riddle hockey team to finish strong for this game.
So right now we have 36 seconds left on one of the original Clemson penalties. We have 1 minute and 38 seconds left on matching minors. That would only carry over if we went into overtime. And we still have 3:36 left on the boarding major penalty that sent Chris Barton into the locker room.
It'll be a wild finish for sure.
Clemson's going to have to deal with a defensive zone face-off that Embry-Riddle definitely wants to try to pop one in before they have to deal with a 3-on-4 man deficit.
Possibly a 5-on-3.
Possibly 5-on-3 if Clemson decides they want to pull Nick Badger. Still 3-on-3 for at least 36 seconds. Face-off in the Clemson zone will be won by the Tigers to the far corner. Name of the game for 3-on-3 is possession, so the Eagles smartly backing out, allowing Clemson to just gain the neutral zone. Halsey sends it up to the far side, and Clemson has already pulled their goaltender. So Prelier will cover up this bouncing puck. So already with 1:06 left in the third, we'll have a 4-on-3 man advantage, but an empty net for Clemson. In 22 seconds, Clemson will have a 5th player out on the ice from the penalty box. Embry-Riddle will win the face-off, but now the referee blowing the whistle right after the face-off.
And going to the box, not sure what he's referring to.
And the referee had no ice awareness there. He thought that Clemson had too many men on the ice. Didn't realize that Clemson pulled their goaltender.
Oh my goodness.
Probably the 4th or 5th time that the referees have had 0 ice awareness tonight.
It's been a long night for everybody, including the officials.
Luckily for Embry-Riddle, they win the second faceoff as they did the first, and they get it out to the blue line and eventually the neutral zone. Halsey settles it down at the top of the Clemson blue line. In 6 seconds, we'll have a 5-on-3 power play for Clemson and an empty net for the Tigers. Clemson circling their own zone. 5-on-3 power play with an empty net. They move it to the near side, too far away from Butterfield. 37 seconds to go in the game. Clemson has it, takes a shot wide of the far post. Comes up to the blue line for Halsey. Still a 5-on-3 on the ice. Halsey with a long shot, deflected, and Clemson finds the back of the net for a tie game, 3-3 with 27.9 seconds left in the third.
And a shocking turn of events. It seems like this game might follow suit with the 2 last night and going to overtime, which is bad news for the Eagles because in 46 seconds, those 2 coincidentals are going to expire and they're going to be down for a long time.
And I believe what is going to happen is that Brendan Barger is going to come out of the penalty box. His minor penalty may well expire, so we will be back to 4-on-4 play if Barger's penalty time is expired. The way that would happen is the minor penalty would be ended due to the power play goal, and that looks like that is the case. So it is 4-on-4 for the next 46 seconds left on the Clemson penalty, but there's only 27.9 seconds left in a tied third period. So we're still even on the ice. Barger sends it in on goal, stick to the far corner. The Clemson crowd is getting rowdy here at the Daytona Ice Arena. Clemson trying to get it out, can't do so. Ryan Marks with one last chance, fires a shot. Pad save is made by Badger. Over on the far side blue line, Ebner sends it near for Barger. 10 seconds to go. Loose in the crease and a pad save made by Badger on a turnover. 4 seconds to go. Clemson will just hold it along the boards. Marks has something to say about it. Thrown in front, and Clemson will clear it to the corner. And for the second straight game for both of these teams, we will have overtime.
And you definitely got to fault some of that ending. I mean, bad break for the Eagles there, taking those penalties. I mean, some of them seemed a bit questionable, and the officials definitely played a hand in how this game's going to end, but doesn't matter now. We're going to overtime.
And quite honestly, this has been an outstanding level of play this weekend. All teams very evenly matched. 2 overtime games last night, a one-goal game earlier before this one, and this one goes into overtime. So every single game will be decided by a single goal in the first 2 days of this tournament. So we will have 4-on-4 play for 18 seconds. And then Clemson will be on a 5-on-4 man advantage for 2 minutes on the remaining 2 minutes on the 5-minute major to Chris Barton. Right now, 4 minutes is up on the board for this overtime period, which is different from what we saw last night. If we follow suit from last night, it'll be 4-on-4 play for 5 minutes, at least without penalties. They have fixed the time up on the board, 5 minutes for an overtime period. We will be 3-on-3 to start the overtime period because of the 2 penalties, 1 on each side of the team's board. And the teams will switch sides.
It's actually amazing. In my time here, before this weekend, Riddle has only gone. They're making him go back.
We had this kind of discussion for about 30 seconds last night. They tried to keep both teams on their own sides.
This is incredible. I mean, last night they were forced to switch after protesting that they wanted to stay. This time, this is kind of getting ridiculous at this point.
Other than wanting to follow suit from last night, I'm sure both teams want to stay on their own side of their benches.
Both goalies are very confused.
And now the goalies are going to switch back. The officiating tonight, quite honestly, for lack of better terms, has been terrible. There's been a lot of calls that should not have been called, a lot of calls that should have been called, and that sometimes is the name of the game. But there was 30 seconds where Clemson had 6 men on the ice. There was a hand pass that led to a breakaway for Embry-Riddle. There were players thrown around left and right with no calls, weak slashing calls.
Weak ejections. I was very, very, very confused in what's happening so far, but we're here now.
And like I said earlier, at least the consistency is there from last night. The teams have swapped sides as if they were playing in the second period. 3-on-3 for the next 10 seconds, and then Clemson will have a 4-on-3 power play. Clemson has possession behind their own net, dealing with the hard forecheck pressure of Barger, and it's backhanded up into the neutral zone.
And it looks like Clemson is now, oh, wow.
And now a penalty is going to come against Brendan Barger after a high hit to the head of Adam Montag.
I can't. I'm running out of words for this. Didn't even seem like he bodied him off the puck. Seemed like a completely clean play. Seemed like the Clemson player ducked his shoulder as if to get behind Barger, and he just finished his hit. But the ref didn't see it that way, and this is going to be a huge, huge hill for the Eagles to climb.
5-on-3 power play for Clemson in overtime to win it. It's almost a full 2-minute power play. 1:54 left on the major penalty to Chris Barton, who has since left the ice.
Might as well be. And this is not where the Eagles want to be.
Clemson's going to have easy possession in their own zone. Comes to the near side for Judah. Takes a shot, pad save, rebound on the far side. Big save, Nico Proulier. At the far side blue line, this one gets deflected to the near corner, and I thought that was going to be the end of the game, but again, Nico Proulier comes equal to the task. Judah with a long shot that just goes over the crossbar. Ebner's going to try to hold it along the boards, can't do so. Clemson behind the net, throws to the near side, off the post. Judah with a shot that goes over the crossbar, and again, Embry-Riddle loving this home ice advantage right now, getting bounce after bounce. This one thrown off the outside of the net, backhander again off the outside. Loose puck on the far side corner. Clemson settles it down at the blue line. Baltus walks in, fakes the shot, comes to the near side circle, takes it, blocked in front by Embry-Riddle. They're sent down to the ice at the blue line. Clemson can't keep it in.
And a lucky break for the Eagles there, getting the puck out. What a series of events, and what's fantastic saves by Proulier to keep this game still going.
55 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. Clemson sets it up again in the offensive zone on the power play. And this one was fanned on by Judah. Embry-Riddle can't clear it out. On the near side, thrown in front at the blue line. Baltus keeps it in for Clemson. Sends it to the far corner for Jackson. Tries a stuff attempt on the near side. Pad save made by Proulier, and he will hang on for a whistle. 34 seconds to go until Embry-Riddle kills off an astounding 5-on-3.
It's just been it's been incredible. You know, a lot of resiliency shown by these penalty killers and by the man in net there doing a great job. He has to be tired for sure. If the shot clock is correct, it's been 51 shots. 34 shots. I definitely don't think that shot clock may be correct.
Like I said, I think that shot clock is swapped. I would assume that 51 shots is a fair estimate for the Clemson Tigers right now.
And everyone is standing here. What a finish to this game.
At the blue line, Peachnik will send it down to the far half wall. Clemson walks in off the wall to the middle. Only 25 seconds on their 5-on-3. They have Peachnik at the blue line. They find him in the middle. Looks for a shot, can't find it. Looking into the middle, takes it, deflected, rebound on the near side, backhander into the legs of Proulier, and he will hang on for another whistle. That one looked to be about 2 inches just with his pad from the goal line.
As a goalie, you know, it's scary when the puck eludes your stick and is only stopped by your pad because you managed to put it down in time and not because it was already there to begin with. So definitely a lucky break there, but a great save by Nico too. Absolutely not taking away from that.
Clemson with another face-off win. They've only got 12 seconds on their power play left. Over to the far side, a slap shot goes past the near side post. Halsey keeps it in for Clemson. Goes up to the high slot, fires a shot, goes wide to the far side post. Kirsten with a chance to clear it out, takes a body and he can't clear it, kept in. No, it comes out to the neutral zone. Clemson will come in offsides. And Embry-Riddle is back to 5-on-5. What a penalty kill from the Eagles.
Absolutely astounding. A lot of resiliency. Great job by the Eagles to really fight through essentially a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3.
And now, after all the penalties are said and done, we will go to 4-on-4 play to finish out this overtime period, barring any other penalties that may occur. And the way this game is going, I'm expecting at least one more penalty call in the last 2:36.
I would not take that bet against you.
Faceoff will be right in front of us here in the neutral zone, right next to the Embry-Riddle blue line. Clemson will have possession on the far side. Peachnick takes a slash. That one could have easily been called, but the referees will let that one slide here in overtime. Thrown off the boards. Embry-Riddle tries to bring it into the Clemson zone. Marks loses it, and Clemson has a 3-on-2. They move it to the far side looking for a shot. They look for a backhander thrown through the crease, and the net has been knocked off of his pegs. It was Jake Vanderleest looking for Jackson on the near side, and it went just through him.
Prullier expressing a little bit of how he feels, quite exhausted, probably hoping his team can score and end this game quickly.
And the referees are going to deem that it was a Clemson player who knocked the net off, so the faceoff will come right back where we started the last time, right in front of us here in the neutral zone.
Good to see that Ryan Marks and Alex Fowler have been reunited. The two show a lot of chemistry, and hoping they can seal the deal here.
Barger sends this one up into the ceiling, and it will be a whistle, and this one will be a face-off in the Embry-Riddle zone, as this one was sent up into the ceiling from his own high slot. Tremendous weekend of hockey here. As I said last night, 2 thrilling overtime games, and this one no different than what we've seen from the past 3 matches.
And hopefully a sign of things to come. I know the Eagles are looking to making this a tradition, to have these teams come down, have a lot of fun down here by the beach.
Kept in at the blue line by Clemson. Halsey tries to streak into the far corner. He does, but Fowler, who should have one of the freshest set of legs on this entire sheet of ice, turns it over at the blue line. Clemson fires a shot into the midsection of Prullier, and he will hang on for a whistle. Clemson will make a wholesale line change, while Embry-Riddle only changes 2 forwards. 1:51 to go in the overtime period. We're tied at 3, and we are at full strength, 4-on-4 each side. Clemson wins the faceoff. They will keep it in at the blue line on the near side. Long shot. Easy save for Prullier. Faceoff will be moved to the near side circle for this go around.
Lytle and Miller out there for the Eagles to see if they can spark something here.
Barger loses possession in the corner, and Clemson will hang on to it along the boards. They move it up to the blue line. Looks for a shot. Blocked in front. Deflects all the way up to the neutral zone, and Clemson will have to retreat to center ice to maintain some sort of play. And now a collision at center ice. Miller brings the puck over the blue line for Embry-Riddle. He takes a shot off the outside of the net. Rebound on the far side. Big save made by Badger, and now we're going to have another big play in front. It was a collision. I believe Little, was it Little or Miller who
Miller,
took a flying backside to the Clemson defender in front of the net.
Seemed completely unintentional. It seemed like he was just stopping in front, but I mean, Miller's a big-bodied guy and definitely can lay some force even when he doesn't mean to. Needs to be careful not to make any gestures towards the Clemson bench. We saw what happened previously, but it seems like he's going anyway.
And what I say, I expected at least one more penalty. So number 24 for Clemson, Christian Judah, is going to go in for Clemson, and number 44 for Embry-Riddle, Brantley Miller. They will each go into the penalty box for their respective teams.
You called one, and we got 2, so there you go. And it's still not done yet. We still have about 82 seconds left, so see what happens. I would say we'd go to 4-on-4, but we're already there, so I'm not sure what's going to happen now.
I believe it'll take the on-ice strength to 3-on-3. But it looks like we're going to stay 4-on-4. So I guess overtime rules are going to be a little different. The coincidental minors in 5-on-5 hockey, the first coincidental minors will bring the play down to 4-on-4, but after that you can have coincidental minor after coincidental minor, and it will keep the play 4-on-4. Those ones won't go up on the board. Right now, nothing is up on the board. Players and officials confused as to what's going on right now. Not sure if full strength in overtime means the same thing as full strength as regulation to bring this to 3-on-3, or if we're going to stay 4-on-4. At some point, the benches just have to agree on 4-on-4 or 3-on-3 and tell the officials what to do. Right now, 3 purple jerseys out for Clemson, 4 white jerseys out for Embry-Riddle. Looks like Kirsten's going to make his way to the bench. And it looks like we're going to go to 3-on-3. 2 minutes is up on the board for both teams.
This has just been incredibly confusing. It's really hard to understand what's going on. Refs have not necessarily been clear on their communication.
And now the interesting thing to take into account, these 2-minute penalties would carry over into a shootout. Does that mean that the players in the penalty box will be excluded from shootout contention? We'll see. We got to get through the last 1:22 of this overtime. Faceoff will be in the Embry-Riddle offensive zone on the far side circle.
That would be big because it means that the captain would be excluded from the shootout.
Ryan Marks trying to tie up his man back behind, careful of a hooking penalty. Clemson trying to get it out from below their own goal line. Ryan Marks with beautiful forecheck pressure. He's taken down on the play. No call is going to come from that.
And he's in pain.
And now it is going to be a penalty.
Wow, that is not a good sign. Arguably the Eagles' best player is struggling to get up right now.
That's number 4, Nick Baltus for Clemson. Is that a slashing penalty when he was falling down, or did Ryan Marks fall down on the play awkwardly? It looked like Marks was pushed from behind. I didn't see a stick come into the back of the leg or anything, but he's obviously in some sort of distress.
Looks like something in the leg area, maybe the hips, because he can't get off the ice right now. This is not good to see.
And of course you hate to see a player injured in any circumstance, but the silver lining here for Embry-Riddle, they now have a 4-on-3 power play because you cannot have fewer than 3 players on the ice. So rather than taking Clemson's man advantage from 3 to 2, we will add a player to the Embry-Riddle side, making it 4-on-3 for the remainder of this overtime period.
Bit of give and take in that too, because you know the Eagles want to have Ryan Marks out there, and you don't expect him to. You probably want to give him a minute or two to breathe and recuperate just in case he needs to go in for the shootout. But good to see he's okay and on the bench.
Looks like he's ready to go for his next shift if time allows. It is a 5-minute major penalty.
Wow, you might figure there might have been maybe a spearing call on that then. It's the only thing I could think of to get 5 minutes like that.
Spearing, butt-heading, something to intentionally harm another player. Nick Baltus, 5-minute major. But honestly, at this point, if you're not going to give him a game misconduct, it means nothing with only 1:08 left. Guaranteed of playing time, because after this, we're going to go to a shootout.
The statement should be that at this point, if you're going to make that kind of statement, eject the player. There's really nothing else to be done.
At this point, even just give him a 10-minute misconduct, kick him out for the rest of the game, for sure make sure that he's not going to participate in the shootout. Even if it's not bad enough to get him a game misconduct for next game, make sure he's out for the rest of this game, because a 5-minute major penalty at this point in the game means absolutely nothing more than a 2-minute minor.
And still not exactly sure what happened on the play.
But Embry-Riddle with a 4-on-3 man advantage for the last minute of overtime. Clemson going to try to do their best they can to hold the puck along the wall, and the referee is going to have a quick whistle, not allow Clemson to kill too much time along the boards. Puck has to be kept in motion.
You want to see the second Eagle get in there. It's a power play. You watched him back off. It's definitely not something you want to see. It's exactly what Clemson would want.
And now Ryan Marks has made his way back onto the ice. Good to see that. So a huge top line out for Embry-Riddle. Barger with a quick shot gets deflected. It's Fowler, Marks, Barger, and Ebner out for this power play unit for Embry-Riddle. Fowler walks in along the goal line looking for a stuff attempt through the crease. Barger with a shot. Big save made by Badger. And that one may have stung him at an awkward angle. He's slow to get up with 41.7 seconds left in what's been an amazing and confusing hockey game that I've commentated on this entire year.
It's definitely been a show. Definitely not what we expected. It continue on the way it has and how long it has.
Ebner at the blue line takes a shot, blocked in front. He gets it right back to the far side. Barger with a shot, shoulder down, rebound in the crease. Whistle comes, and now a couple of sticks from Fowler and Marks may have hurt the Clemson goaltender now.
Yeah, he seems to be a little slow to get up, but he is getting up. Good to see. Good to see he's getting up. the Clemson crowd showing their support as well as the Eagles.
And it's got to be hard for Clemson knowing that this is the only goaltender that they brought on this trip. He's the only goaltender not just dressed, but in the area for Clemson to participate in the weekend. Barger nearly gives it away. Clemson with a chance to clear. They send it the length of the ice with 25 seconds to go.
It looks like there's enough time for maybe one more rush. The Eagles got to make it count.
Eagles got to make it fast, though. They only got 18 seconds, and Fowler will escape out the far side of the net. And this one's going to go all the way down the ice. Will it go for an icing call? Yes, it will. With 10.1 seconds to go, faceoff will come all the way back down into the Embry-Riddle zone.
And that is it's not what you were hoping for to see on that final breakout there. It looks like we'll have time for at least one more faceoff.
Plenty of time for Clemson to maybe get something shorthanded if they can win the faceoff right off the bat. Otherwise, Embry-Riddle's going to have to win this clean and pretty much give it to either Fowler, Barger, or Marks and try to streak all the way down the ice. Thrown right in on goal, and Perlier has to make a save right off the faceoff. Takes 1.5 ticks off the clock.
And we'll do the same setup again. Take two.
Another one trying to be thrown right in on goal. Barger's going to hang onto it in the corner, rims it around to the far side for Fowler. He sends it, who tries to send it up rather, fans on the pass. Clemson hangs onto it at the red line. And we will see a shootout. Second one in a row for Clemson. First shootout this weekend for Embry-Riddle.
Looks like it might be the first shootout in my time here as well. First time in maybe 3 years that we've been to a shootout.
And now this is the second one this weekend. But now the interesting thing to see, it looks like Ben Solomon's still in the penalty box. I assume he got a 10-minute misconduct because he has no time up on the board. All of the players except for Solomon have left the ice.
It looks like the game might be ending because if I recall correctly last night, I spoke to some of the Clemson players and they were upset with the fact that the game went to a shootout. As per ACHA rules, you're not supposed to. And just remembering this now, it looks like this game might be over.
And Embry-Riddle wanting to continue this game, not sure if the rule I'm being told is no shootout, so the game does end in a tie. Almost disappointingly for us up here, I wanted to see this game be won by one of these teams.
And that is probably the most shocking ending there could have been.
And a very disappointing end here. An outstanding, stellar game from both teams.
And the players leaving before the handshake.
Well, it looked like a little bit of mouthing off from both teams about Embry-Riddle wanting to play the shootout to find a moral victor. Clemson not wanting to waste their time and efforts with a shootout that they had to deal with last night. But right now,
looks like the players were playing rock, paper, scissors to see who finished with the win. And this is quite a confusing, surprising end to this game.
So hopefully cooler heads prevail in this. Handshakes will commence. This game will end in an absolutely stunning 3-3 tie. Andrew, I'm speechless at this point.
I mean, I'm not even sure how this is going to impact records for each team. Do teams lose ranking? Do they gain ranking from this? Not really clear how ties are shown. And the Clemson fans seem to be pretty happy with it, showing their support. The alumni seem to be a little deflated for sure, but I guess that's all we have to say. Moving on to the alumni game next.
That's all she wrote for this Embry-Riddle versus Clemson matchup. And there's quite a few rock, paper, scissors matches going on right there to try to determine some sort of moral victor in this game. But Embry-Riddle 3, Clemson 3 to end the game on what has been an outstanding special teams matchup between both of these teams. Embry-Riddle will come in tomorrow to play the University of Florida at 2:30. Meanwhile, Clemson will open up tomorrow at noon against FSU. We thank you for joining us here on YouTube. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for the conclusion of what has been an outstanding weekend of hockey here at the Daytona Ice Arena. For Andrew Caputo, I'm Nick Gimbel. Thank you for joining us. Hope you have a good night.